Hello and welcome everyone to Dames and Dorks. We're so excited to have you here today. Oh my gosh, it's been a little bit of a chaotic day with hurricanes and internets, but you know what? We're power through it because that's what we do. And what better way to have a good, awesome show than inviting the guys from Dads Who Talk on the show today. How are you guys?
You want the truth? You want us to lie to you?
I want the truth of a liar. That's what I want.
You know what? We're doing good. Don't know why we got asked to be on here, but no.
I literally asked the same question.
Yeah, let's do it all the time. But no, we were honored that Lily asked us to be on here. We were really looking forward to it. Looking to have a good conversation and have a lot of fun.
Nice, dude. We're so excited. I think we need more podcasts and channels like you guys to like get together and just really say it how it is. Because I saw some of your videos and I was like, I really like them. I'm so happy that they're going to be on the show today. So thank you guys for owning. Oh, I'm sorry.
You can have ones like us. You're not going to want us just like us. Trust me. It's not.
Oh, crazy. Okay, so we'll just see how the show goes.
Yes.
But we'll see. I'm just so happy, guys. But joining here today with us as our regular panelist, we got Dr. 300 Mirrors, Lily. How are you today?
I am doing good. I know this looks weird, but I'm having an internet outage. The Floridians are the ones that are supposed to be having the internet outage, and somehow it happened to me.
We like to share. We like to share our problems.
So,
sharing is caring.
Sorry, that was weird. But yes, I'm really excited that you guys are here today. I've been on their show twice, I think now, and I had a lot of fun. So I was like, you know what? You guys come on to our show and we'll all talk about all the really, really cool stuff. But yeah, like Nomi said, it's been a crazy week and a half already, and I'm pretty sure you guys have seen me talk about it everywhere, and I'm not going to shut up about it. I'm finally a board certified nurse practitioner.
Woo! Let's go!
Well earned.
So yeah, I know it's a little confusing because a lot of people are like, "Yay, you're a nurse now," and I'm like, "No,
I'm better than that."
I've been a nurse for 10 years. Chances are, if you guys go see your PCP, they're probably a nurse practitioner. But yeah, so I'm like, we do everything doctors do. We diagnose, we treat, we prescribe you medication, and we take care of you. So I am very honored to join their League of Nurse Practitioners. I'm so happy. I can't wait to get a job. And I've already had a couple of offers, so we'll see who I
coming to you.
Go with.
I have one request, Lily, is that if you do any kind of prescription, can you make sure we can understand the handwriting?
Yeah. Hey, she said she's not a doctor. She's a nurse practitioner.
No, that's actually what we get taught in school, that only the pharmacist is the one that understands what we prescribe.
Okay.
That's true.
Well, I guess that makes sense. So, there's no anybody abusing that power. But yes. Well, thank you. Well, Lily, we're so happy and proud of you for going through all this education, and look at the hard work that you're at today. We're happy. We're excited to see where your career and your future takes you off, girl.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
And then returning back from a long hiatus, a hibernation, I don't know. I can't do a Final Fantasy reference because I'm not very familiar with it. But we got Magitek Mags returning today.
Yeah, my Esper form has been summoned. I'm back.
Oh, there we go. How are you, Mags?
I'm good. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be back with the wonderful ladies here as always, and of course the fine gentlemen that we have on the show sometimes. So, but anyway, so thank you. I've been well. I've been getting back into some game streams, so I'm trying to get that going again. And yeah, I'm just coming in like a wrecking ball, like I usually am. So.
Oh, we've missed it. We've missed that wrecking ball. We missed the chaos that Mags brings here.
Chaotic.
yes, Mags and her fake news.
Bring some chaos yesterday. She did bring chaos yesterday.
Oh my gosh! No,
cancel Mags.
Right, cancel.
No, well, we're excited to have you back here, Mags. You were well missed, and my gosh, I can't wait to what the show we're going to reveal here and what you have to say, because I love Mag's takes.
Yes, I'm so excited she's back.
I'm gonna have to like be prim and proper and be a proper Southern lady here. So.
Well,
No,
you
you
know
don't.
how it is, Mags. As long as you follow up with "bless your heart," anything goes.
Southern lady.
That's true.
Yes. And then also on our panelists, we got Dr. Rachel here. How are you surviving, Dr. Rachel, in this hurricane season? The beginning of it.
Yeah, this is my my first Florida hurricane, so baby's first hurricane.
Woo!
I'm doing well. We're all stocked up. We're, just like have everything ready to go in case power outages happen. We're just like, okay, if it happens, we got the batteries ready to go, flashlights, water, everything, unplug everything so nothing gets damaged. So we're ready in case it happens. But I think because we're so prepared, nothing's happened yet.
You're kind of
Knock on
disappointed
wood.
that nothing's happening, right?
A little bit.
Little
I'm like, everyone builds up these Florida hurricanes. It's like
Yeah.
this huge thing. And I'm just like, I hear a bit
You're
of
like, is
wind
that
and
it?
rain
It's
outside.
a little windy. Yes, it's just it. It's a little
We
windy.
just walked outside a couple times and be like, this is kind of nice.
Exactly.
It's finally cool outside.
Rachel's
But
like
no,
the Chick-fil-A guy. She's like, my disappointment is immeasurable and my day's ruined. kind of thing.
Pretty much. No,
Rachel, I
expected
know that when
more.
it gets
I at
really
least
bad,
can-
we got to get an American flag and stand out in the rain, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, the true
I'm
Florida.
ready.
I don't
I'm
have
ready
one
for
of
that.
those yet.
Tabitha, you better do it because you're the one that said it. So you better do it.
Yeah, we're gonna
And we
need to
need
see you do
proof.
that,
I
Tabitha.
would do it.
Okay, but I'm not doing it in my underwear, okay? I have standards.
But you gotta go get Dr. Rachel though, both of you in the video.
We'll meet
Yeah,
up
we'll
at
all do it.
Disney, and then we'll find a
Mhm.
random neighborhood.
Yes. That
And
sounds
you need to
good.
take
I
you
can
need to
do
take a
that.
boat. You need to take a motorized boat out on the river on the roads. That sort of thing.
Hold
Oh,
that
yeah.
American flag.
And let your hair down and let the wind take at it with
Oh,
your
yeah.
with your hair.
Give us weather update.
Absolutely.
That's the plan.
Yes, I would
If
love
you
the
see
weather
Rachel
update.
and I on the news, just be ready for, we'll be on everybody's podcast, and just wait for
Oh
it.
yeah.
We can clip you guys and be like, as seen on Dames and Dorks.
Tabitha and I am just gonna like set up a little stand, a few umbrellas and stuff, and just be like painting the stuff.
Right. Watercolor.
Just tell
Yeah.
teachers saying, I survived my first hurricane.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty
Yes.
much.
My
Yes.
first Florida hurricane.
And
I
then
just have a
next,
feeling I'm going
oh.
to see my family out on social media during these hurricanes because I got family down in Florida.
Oh.
They're going to be the ones.
Tell
with
them
the,
to come over, and we'll.
I
fly
have a
flag
feeling
to
We'll
they're going to be the ones with the
party.
flags and umbrellas and everything.
are they going to be
It
the ones
would-
in their
it would
underwear
be-
too?
Yes.
It wouldn't be a
Probably.
Florida hurricane party.
I like it.
That's true. Next to Dr. Rachel is also another new Floridian is DreamingTabitha. Hi.
Yeah. I know. I do love me a good rainstorm. I love it. I love it. Maybe it's because I'm just naturally a homebody. Like literally during 2020, everybody's devastated, and I'm like, my life just really didn't change that much. I stayed home. Well, what's different? It's another Tuesday for the next 2 years. I mean, that's fine.
It's another date ending in Y.
I thought it was great. Apart from the people being sick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's great.
Sorry about that, guys. And also next on the panelists, I have Dr. DJ Smu. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I got my trusty old coffee mug as usual. I actually had a good nap before the stream, so I'm actually wide awake and actually on American time again. So yeah, something to get used to considering I'm going to be in at SpaceCon soon. So I got to readjust my body a little bit. Can't wait. It's going to be good. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. I'm excited. I can't wait. It's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm excited
And
too.
then just as a warning, guys, Bob is actually a nurse too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny, he
Yeah.
doesn't look like a woman.
Yeah.
Surrounded by nurses.
he's a
Yeah, I
nurse.
get that all the time. It's just-
Well,
I mean, it's
we're one of the
2024.
girls,
Who
aren't we,
knows?
Bob?
no,
Yeah.
you know what I realized when I became a nurse is that everybody looks at the male nurses like we're the mule.
Yep.
So everybody, we got to carry everything. Hey, come over here. We need something. And then every
So you
every
probably-
guy or every male patient we see looks at us like we're crazy. So
Yep. I even had
So,
people
yeah.
asking me like, "Are you part of the cleaning staff or are you actually a nurse?" I'm like, "I'm a nurse." Are you the janitor?
So, yeah.
No, I actually work here. But thanks.
Smu and Bob are what we like to refer to as nurses.
Wow, that doesn't sound healthy at all. Oh my.
Oh my gosh.
Receive all the mercy we can get, so I'm not
There we
complaining.
Guys. But yeah, I just said I'm really excited for the Dads Who Talk podcast to be here with us. But do you mind introducing yourselves a little bit, guys, before we jump into our comments? I realized that. I was like, I don't think our show knows who you guys are.
I don't know who you guys are, so it's nice to meet you.
That's all right. We don't know who we are either.
Who we are.
Go ahead, Josh. You go first.
Oh, I get to go first? Well, my name is Josh, and I am one of the 3 guys on Dad's Turn to Talk. It was a show we decided to start. It's me and 2 of my best friends. Bob and I have known each other since we were about 6 years old. And Derek and I have known each other since freshman year of college. I've known Derek so long, when I met him, he had hair. Just to let you know.
I love it.
Very excited to be on this podcast. I've heard wonderful things about Dames and Dorks, and can't wait to talk about Star Wars tonight. Very exciting.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Go ahead, Derek.
Go ahead, Derek.
Don't be shy.
Yeah, my name's Derek. I'm a Libra. Like long walks on the beach.
I pegged you for a Taurus. Okay.
For everybody else. Well, Josh pretty much gave the introduction in terms of the history and how the 3 of us met. He's not lying when he said he met me when I had hair. I'm glad that's gone, and I don't have to put any of you through that because it wasn't exactly pretty. I live up in the Bay Area here. We don't have hurricanes, but unfortunately, we also don't have predictors for earthquakes yet. So feel for you guys in terms of the hurricanes. But thank you for having us here. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
With the advancement of technology, they would have developed a technology for that already, right?
Yeah. One of these days.
Yeah, one of these days. That's true.
One of these days. Before we go into our show, I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge our chat here. We got Tracy Reed.
What about Nomi, Bob?
Oh, I thought I was going to get
We already know he's a merchant.
Right thing.
Tripping over Bob.
He's forgettable.
No,
He's getting the MERS treatment.
He's forgettable. He's a
that's
nerd.
right. Yeah.
Bob, I'm sorry.
Everyone else already said anything.
So as it says, my name is Bob. Lily already said I'm a nurse. I've known Lily for a couple of years. We met through social media. Turned out we had similar likes. We had similar backgrounds. She reached out to me and said, "Hey, somebody else who likes geeks and gamers," and so we ended up starting to talk based off of that. And next thing we know, 2 years later, we're now on each other's shows. I kind of got into this. My better half had been asking me for a while to get into YouTubing, and so eventually I started my own channel, do movie and television reviews over there. And then, like Josh said, we decided to do this show together, and we have a lot of fun doing it. Doing that show is my favorite time of the week, to be honest.
Yeah.
Dude, no. Well, good. I'm glad to hear and know more about you a little bit. But yeah, like I said, I just saw a couple of your videos. Like, yeah, I'm so glad that they're going to be here. But thank you so much for sharing who you guys are. We're so stoked to see you guys.
Thanks again for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, and not to step on your guys' toes again, and not forget about Bob. I'm sorry. Tracy Reeves, nice to see you. Larry Knight, nice to see you. Yo, Pops, hi. How are you? I hope you're doing great.
Hey.
Tomby, nice to see you. Gravy D, always great to have you here, Gravy D. And then Cal. And then we got someone here too, and she's not wrong.
Yeah, she's not important.
No,
It's a
she's
fair and
really
balanced
pretty.
panel, almost.
Yes, no.
It's almost equal, almost.
Hi, Tara Crystal. Nice to see you. Wiley, Dave. We got Beak in the chat as well. Fantastic, sarcastic. Watch out for him because he can be a little bit of a troublemaker.
No,
Careful,
don't
he
trust
might-
him. Don't
He might
trust
have the
anything
potential
that
to
man
press
says.
Alt F4.
Yeah, don't,
Yes, don't trust anything fantastic. If he gives the advice,
don't follow it.
don't follow it. That's all I can say. I got Samuel the Infamous. Nice to see you, Samuel.
Yeah.
It's been a good minute. Hey, how are you, Bards? Nice to see you. Yes. Oh my gosh. And then Americas. the truth of a liar. Isn't that an oxymoron? Exactly. I
Yes.
just like to, be a little silly here and there. We got
He's a
Blue Eyed-
whimsical one, that one. Yeah.
He is. Hi, Leonor. Nice to see you.
Oh,
Nice to see you. Yes. Americas, I'm
Yes, sir.
glad that you made the right choice here. Hi, Jack Tarlad. I've seen you around. Nice to see you in the chat. So happy. Oh my gosh. Watch out, Tabitha.
My hands are away
That was-
from
that was-
the keyboard.
Don't hit the exit. Don't hit the leave studio button. Don't hit that.
So a little
Or
more
close the
about
browser.
that. Tabitha.
No,
and
we
I
don't
played a
need to
game.
know more about that.
Yes,
We
you
played a
do.
game and Tabitha learned. Tabitha learned a
Thank
lesson.
you.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you.
But
I learned to distrust. My heart's broken.
no,
Aw.
but we got to persevere though. It's all right, Tabitha. It's
Right. Made for good content. That's what I'm here for.
but it's still a learning lesson. But one thing that's a learning lesson right now is the current topic, and the current hot topics right now is Star Wars, and they're not doing all that great here. And
That doesn't
Lily, I
surprise
know
me
you
one
As
bit,
more.
if that's news.
I know for real.
Sorry.
I'm shocked by this.
You should be
Yeah,
looking, must
so
be
we have a
another
couple
ending
topics. We have a couple of topics to go through with Star Wars because their failure just does not stop, and that makes me kind of happy as a Star Wars fan. And let me explain why. Because these are all the horrible projects that no Star Wars fan wants, and they keep trying to shove down our throats, and we don't want them. So first, we're starting with Miss Daisy Ridley over here. That apparently her new movie is on hold. They haven't released this as confirmed news yet, but there is a source who has gotten some news correct about Star Wars before, and they said that the Daisy Ridley movie, her as Rey, is on hold. So they're saying that there's something going on with the scripts. They have to rewrite the scripts. They have to look at it again, blah, 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 blah. But we all know what's happened to a lot of projects that they have put on hold. They get put on hold indefinitely. And then eventually they just hope that we kind of forget about it and then never mention it again. So I'm hoping.
Been Disney's for years.
Just
I'm
casually
hoping-
forget Star Wars. you
Yeah,
know?
just casually forget. So I'm hoping that this is actually correct because I don't want to see this movie. And I don't think I had put in the article for today, but it came out saying that Daisy Ridley herself said that she learned to ignore all of the negative news about Star Wars or the negative fans because she said that she can't change how some men think about women.
Wow.
I mean, two things can be
Uh-huh.
right at one time. It's true. You
Right.
can't change what men think about women. Now, what that has to do with Star Wars is a completely different factor.
Mhm. That is very true.
Yeah, and it's kind of bold of her to assume that it's just men that don't like her character. And the biggest cited reason that none of us like this character is because she's a badly written character. She is a Mary Sue. If
She
this
is.
was a guy, we wouldn't like this character if everything was handed to him the way it was handed to Rey. So, what's your point, Daisy Ridley?
Oh, well, I mean, the other thing is, if I might play devil's advocate, because you guys know I love doing that, where it's like, we
What?
also do have to take into account, like recently, what was it? I say recently, earlier this year, maybe 2-3 months ago, where this news article, now it eludes me which company it was, but this news article came out saying that Gina Carano was saying something about Disney and how she was, I don't know, settling or whatever the case might be. And then Gina herself, I saw like so many people retweeted it. Even Drunk 3PO retweeted it, and then she had to go on Twitter and correct them and say, "This is not true. The media
That was
is."
me during the cancel Mags moment.
That's right. It was Mags. Mags, you threw yourself under the bus there. I tried to leave you anonymous. I'm sorry, but
It's
you did
okay.
yourself. But you know,
I won't- I will admit it. I'll admit it.
But she had to go and correct it and say the media is not telling you what I actually said. So it just makes me, with a lot of the Star Wars stuff coming out, I mean, there are some people, like I think we can say like how you say her, Amandla Steinberg. She is doing it to herself. Like she is like she did the video and everything like that. But sometimes, you know, with simple comments, like I say simple, but when simple comments like this from people that are not really in the news and causing a stir, because Daisy really doesn't really, you know, you don't really hear anything from her or about her. And then all of a sudden this pops up and it's a very controversial thing to say and a very unfriendly thing to say to a big part of your fan base as well, let alone the entire opposite sex. But it's like, sometimes I wonder if they twist these people's words and make them look bad simply for the news article because they don't really care about the actors.
No, they don't.
It could also be the way that they phrased the question to her. They could have flat out said from the get-go, you know, a lot of men have been very against female leads, and they could have baited her to right from the get-go to say it, assuming she did in fact say it.
Exactly, that's true. And if that's true, it's like the media is just trying to, I think they're just trying to make money off of everything like everybody else is. But if she really did say this, it's like, Daisy, come on. Because I don't think she did a bad job as Rey. I think, like Lily was saying, this was a terribly written character. I think that Daisy really did a great job with what she was given. It's just that she was given sadness. So, you know,
it's just like with we had with sorry, it's just like what we had with the Acolyte, not the Acolyte, Agatha interviews, where the interviewer was definitely leading the question as for the actors in talking about like the gayest show ever kind of situation. So yeah, you could be possibly right, Tabitha. Go ahead, guys. I'm sorry.
Possibly right, please, Mags.
You know what I loved about that interview clip? You know what loved about the interview clip, Max, was the sheer cringe that Leslie Headland was going through when he mentioned the gayest show ever, because you could feel his soul die inside a little bit when that was mentioned. You saw that look. She's like, oh crap.
Yep.
Well, because that's a doomsday question. Because if she, especially as a lesbian herself, if she does not answer correctly, she ostracizes her crowd. But if she answers conservatively, then she ostracizes the crowd.
She basically, it's basically woke on woke crime, basically.
It's really unfair. It's really unfair that they do ask these kinds of questions. But the worst part is that these people do not stand up to this. They should just be like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to answer that question because I find it irrelevant. I think we all would think a lot better of Leslie what's her face? Of that woman. We would think a lot better of her if she would have just kept it neutral.
Yep.
Her answer.
Easily. Yeah.
And let the work speak for itself.
I mean, honestly, if Daisy really didn't really say that and they did twist her words, like, don't you think that she would come up with like her own statement and be like, no, that's not actually how I said it. Instead, like, she's been pretty quiet about it. Because I would do that. If I was in her place and I saw that everybody was going crazy again, I'd be like, no. That's not actually what I said. This is what I actually said before they twisted my words. And I mean, she hasn't said that, so.
Even if she didn't see it, you would think, like, you know, I would assume that the actors, their managers and stuff like that, keep on top of these things so that way they can prepare them for the stuff. So you're right with that. That's true too. Yeah.
So I don't know. And I think Josh would probably be happy about this movie not happening, right?
Absolutely. Well, it's funny. Daisy Ridley, to start, like Bob and I always talked about Force Awakens, she was good in it. It was not bad. Yeah. But just as when you got to the end and to The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, the story was just horrible. And I don't know if you guys saw, somebody had done a AI version of the sequel trilogy that was literally excellent. And it actually had Rey starting out as a Sith and coming back and turning towards the light. But everyone was written in a really good way. And again, it's not us going against what they did. It's like, we want good writing. That's all what we ask for. You know, the Acolyte, they sat there and they changed the story up on us. And you can't do that with Star Wars. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And then Derek, did you want to say something about this?
Real talk. Okay. If her lightsaber were a different color, would this help things?
No.
Sure.
Yeah.
What color?
Red. If it had been red, we would have been fine.
Oh,
Wait,
yes, we did.
what's Darth's color? You can't do red.
Why? She could have been a Sith.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Imagine that he could have saved the end of Rise of Skywalker when the old lady asks her, "What's your name?" and she goes, "Rey," and then says Rey Palpatine and shoots her with Sith lightning.
Oh, that would have been great.
Now that's an ending I could have gotten behind.
Yeah.
Because it was the ending
Yeah.
nobody would expect. And it would have been
Exactly.
fabulous.
Instead of a red flag, it's a red lightsaber.
I mean, they spent a whole trilogy subverting our expectations anyway. You might as well have done it right at the end.
Yeah.
True.
Nope.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll just say one thing about all the new Star Wars is that there's only one sliver of an audience you're trying to appeal to here. We talked about this on our show. This isn't mass appeal. This is looking to a sliver to appeal to an audience.
Mhm.
Now, look, if that's what you want to do, fine. That's your prerogative. But you're trying to make it seem like this is going to appeal on a mass level, and it doesn't. And every time that somebody goes up against the hill like this and tries to push the rock up it, you're just kind of denying the inevitable and the fact that it's not working mass-wise.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked. I went on a rant about this on our show about how to do a page one rewrite about this. But ultimately, I think we all know what the problem is, and that you're trying to make Star Wars content, you're trying to make it seem like it's going to appeal to the mass audience, and what you're doing clearly isn't working. And blaming everybody else isn't going to help things.
No, yeah.
Imagine blaming the audience for not showing up for something they don't care about, right?
Yeah,
Or
it's
don't
your
wanna
fault.
see.
You're really the one to blame.
You know, the
Oh,
way
yeah.
I equated it to Josh, it's like if you go to a restaurant and they bring you a bad meal and you eat the meal and they tell you it's your fault that you didn't like the meal. And then you go back and the same thing happens again. Finally, you're eventually just going to stop going to that restaurant. And that's essentially what's happening with Star Wars. It's reached that point where you have apathy amongst the audience that people just don't care. And then if they do turn into something or tune into something and it's not anything miraculous or anything that can bring you back, they check out after 1 or 2 episodes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, with them, just they don't even do that with what was it called? That show got canceled, and everybody's trying to revive it. Oh, The Acolyte. See, that's how
Acolyte.
irrelevant it is to us. So because I'm like, I already forgot the name.
The failure of one, the failure of two, the failure of many.
Speaking of another failure, is this one too? And I'm actually so stoked about this one being on a definite hold because I used to like him, but now I don't. I cannot stand Taika Waititi's work. At all.
Little tidbit for you. Taika Waititi's to blame that it is actually canon that stormtroopers can't aim. He established that in The Mandalorian because he did his episode in Mandalorian and established it there.
Yeah.
So you can thank Taika Waititi for that.
This scoop actually comes from the same person who scooped the Daisy Ridley story. And they're saying that the Taika Waititi Star Wars movie is also on an indefinite hold. So when they asked him about it, they said that it hadn't been canceled. According to him, he said that he had about 4 or 5 more projects ahead of this movie until he actually got to it, which says to me that, first of all, if somebody asks you to make a Star Wars movie, this is Star Wars. This is one of the biggest IPs ever. Yeah. Would you put it on hold behind 5 other projects? Or would you be like, dude, I get to make a Star Wars movie. Yeah. Let me move that to the front of the pack. Yes. Like, really?
And so hasn't he been begging for years to do a Star Wars movie?
Movie. So I don't understand why all of a sudden now he's like, oh no, I have 4 or 5 other projects that I have to finish, and then I might get to the Star Wars movie. Like, please give me a break. Like, he pissed me off so bad, especially because he thought that it would be funny to come out and say that he had no idea that Natalie Portman had been in a Star Wars movie.
That's what I was bringing up. That's a red
flag. That's a red flag.
Because he directed Thor, Love and Thunder, and Natalie Portman, she became Thor herself, and he asked her, like, at one of the red carpet events, he's like, "You want to be in Star Wars?" And she had to be the one to tell him, "I'm already in Star Wars."
Yeah, she's like literally, I am the mother of the hero.
Yeah. She's the mother here.
They gave
And
birth
the
to the
wife.
Star
It's like
Wars.
without me, there is no Star Wars.
Natalie
my
is like, what is what?
Exactly. So that gave, like, I don't know if he was being serious about that, but the fact that he came out and said that, thinking that everybody would be like, "Oh, that's
Yeah.
not funny."
Well,
No, he
What's
was
funny?
serious.
He was serious.
He was
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah,
It was
Really?
dead serious, yeah.
he
Oh.
was.
And
The
and
best
the,
Yeah.
and the thing is, and Lily's right. This is one of the biggest IPs that we have out there, and any film, if you're any Star Wars fan, as we all know, we would jump up to the opportunity to do something in Star Wars because that's like a childhood dream that we all grew up with. But for him to say something like that to me is not just sends a red flag, but it also makes me think that it's not really happening. Because if he's got 4 or 5 or however many projects in place, ahead of this, it doesn't look too good that it's coming out anyway. I mean, to be quite honest, I would be happy if it doesn't come to fruition.
Oh, yeah.
Too.
I don't want to see it. I saw Thor: Love and Thunder. I don't want to see this.
Well, that too.
You don't want to see somebody's naked butt?
No,
No, not at all.
No.
You see what happened in Halo, Max? Don't remind me.
Well, the thing is about like Thor and Love and Thunder, when he directed it, I hated the dialogue that he had the back and forth between Emma Thompson and Natalie Portman. Like the little jokes, that got old fast. And I know he would bring that into Star Wars, whatever project he was going to do that. Because he has to have some sort of his humor in everything. Because he did that for Jojo Rabbit, which I liked. And it was good. But when he started getting popular, and it just became redundant, and it got old fast for me. So I didn't know this was going to ruin Star Wars for me at all.
I like Thor Ragnarok. I thought Ragnarok was good.
I liked Ragnarok.
Ragnarok is fine, yeah.
I don't know.
Two things. So now at least Taika knows how Rian Johnson feels about being shelved constantly. Number 2. Well, if you really think about it, Taika Waititi has so much stuff going on at the moment. He probably doesn't care anymore at this point.
Yeah,
and
true.
Honestly, I don't really care for Taika Waititi because he ruined Thor for me. And the fact when you see all the deleted scenes for Love and Thunder that should have been in the movie, that would have made the movie way, way better.
Interesting.
And because IGN had some deleted scenes, like I think 1 month before release. And those scenes should have been in the movie. And that's the thing. You have a movie about a woman being diagnosed with cancer, and you make jokes about her having cancer, and then spoiler, she dies at the end. And you kind of make it a joke as well. It's like, it is so sad that we have to make jokes about cancer, especially if you have a family member that had cancer as well. It is kind of insulting in a way. Yeah. It's like, nothing's sacred anymore. Let's make fun of cancer. Like, how tone deaf do you have to be?
Right. You have to have a certain kind of movie to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because we had that storyline also in Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, where Peter's mom had cancer as well, and look at how they handled it versus how Taika Waititi handled it.
Yeah.
Like that's all you need to look at. And I'm not saying like he has like a certain tone that he goes for in his movies that you can appreciate if he finds the right project for it. Like the first time that I ever saw him was in What We Do in the Shadows, the vampire movie, and I thought that was hilarious because he made vampires and werewolves so funny, and he took a genre that's usually really serious and really whatever, and he kind of brought his humor into it, and it worked there. But when you already have kind of like an established tone, like with something with Marvel, you kind of have to keep going with that, especially with the Thor movies, because they started off super serious, and then all of a sudden, like, Thor's an idiot, he's an airhead, he's stupid, and it just doesn't make sense to me. So
it really surprises
it was the wrong project.
Look at Thor 2 in hindsight. People hated that movie when it came out because it was too serious, right? Nowadays, people actually like it a lot more because of the tone actually being a bit more closer to the old school Marvel movies. And Marvel movies used to be a lot more serious. What really changed the tone for the MCU was actually Guardians of the Galaxy, and ever since then, Marvel thinks James Gunn's humor has to be in literally everything.
And again, again, that's a problem because that's the tone that he set for that movie. Every single movie doesn't have to have the same tone because everything kind of had its own thing. Like with Iron Man, we know what we're getting in an Iron Man movie because we know what Tony's like. So we're going to get him being sarcastic and being narcissistic and full of himself. But then at the same time, like there's a little bit of comedy in there. There's a little bit of seriousness. And then versus like Captain America, where we know that we're going to get a lot of, you know, everyone's like super patriotic and it's a little bit more serious and there's a lot of stuff going on. And it's okay that everybody kind of has their tone, but it is really annoying that they shifted everything and now everything is a joke. Everything is funny. And when you're watching a lot of these movies, you're just kind of like,
I've seen this before.
Like, wow, yes. It just kind of confuses you because you're like that one. Why are they making jokes about cancer? Like, what?
We don't do that here.
Lily, it's because they think doing these movies is a joke. They think that we're a joke.
Yeah. I mean, we think they're a joke now too, so jokes on them, I guess.
Yeah.
We are the trolls, remember? We are the trolls.
Yeah, jokes on them. We're not giving them our money.
Yeah,
exactly.
There are other avenues, guys.
Yes, like owning better Star Wars, having physical media, and then watching good Star Wars before it was Disney.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Reading the books.
Shocking.
Reading the books as well. Yes. And then also,
I still don't forgive them what they did to Kenobi, though.
That's
a war crime and a half, that one.
Oh, it could have been.
Bob, care to share? You looked very disturbed on that one.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi was the show I was waiting for. I felt that was the one that could bring the Star Wars fan base back. You had Ewan McGregor coming back. You had Hayden Christensen coming back. This was an opportunity to bring everybody back. You had goodwill because you were bringing these actors back. And it turned out to be just a bunch of garbage. I mean, it was awful. It was badly written. It badly thought out. I mean, just the whole sequence where she's running from the guy, and he's smashing into a tree, or he's hiding. Kenobi's hiding her under the trench coat.
Jacket.
Yeah, that's where they lost me. It was like, what?
Kenobi should have been a character study. A character study of Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi. And there was a lot of stuff you could have done. For example, in episode 3, where at the beginning of the episode, you see them putting Vader together. While they were putting him together, they should have had flashbacks during that sequence of him fighting Obi-Wan Kenobi, screaming out, "I hate you," and all of the hate that he had towards him. And then later in the episode where he had him in the fire, he should have been having some flashbacks then about the good things that he remembered about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yes. So that would have explained why he pushed him out of the fire. And it would have also explained why at the end of the series, the Emperor turns around and says, "Are you having conflicting thoughts about your old master?" It would have made sense to do stuff like that. But no, instead they decided to focus on this character Reva, which could have been a very good character if they would have just made her a badass Inquisitor and just focused on that instead of anything else. But instead they turned her into the main character of the story, and they got away from the characters that we actually tuned in for. Obi-Wan Kenobi was awful.
I mean, in all fairness, Bob, Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers looks hideous. I would have ran away from him as well. No offense.
That's true. Yeah.
I did love the fight though between Vader and Obi-Wan. The second one I thought was
was a Pokemon battle. That was a Pokemon battle.
No, that was a great fight.
The way he summoned Kenobi summoned the rocks was literally like a Pokemon attack. I'm serious.
Smu laying it down.
An example of how it's badly written. You got Vader who landed on the planet chasing after Kenobi, and he walks up to Kenobi and says, "Are you here to destroy me, Obi-Wan?" "No, you came to me." I mean, what the heck? I mean, just an example of bad writing right there.
See, Ice Cube's son is in the show. I think he's playing Owen or whatever his name is. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to help you." And then like 5 minutes later, he's like, "Okay, I'm going to help you." I'm like, "Huh?
Yeah.
What? Excuse me? What?"
Hey, people can change their mind, Smu. Okay, it happens.
Yeah, but not in 5 minutes.
Yeah, you ever heard of a woman? Maybe he was on
Yeah.
estrogen. We don't know.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a woman hungry too?
Yeah.
Yes,
God.
yes, I have. Yes, I
Yeah.
have, Max.
Okay, so it's possible. Just throwing that out there, you know.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? Does it make it entertaining? No, but
No.
you know.
You know what boggles my mind is you've got an excellent book as a blueprint for the Kenobi show,
Mhm.
right? And you're like, well, there's no source material. Well, gee, I wonder why.
Rising.
Of course there is.
Rising. Great book.
Yeah, even the
All
Kenobi
the
book was
source material in it.
excellent.
Yes, love that
Well,
book.
see-
Lily and I talked about that book.
Look, you got so much source material to take things from. Then you oust all the source material, and then you pretend like it's not there, but yet you steal from it all the time.
Wait, are
You
we
even
talking
steal
about
from the video
Ahsoka? Or are we
games.
talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Everything.
Everything.
Everything. As Leslie Headland had said, I love the Star Wars.
The Star Wars.
Remember when Anakin blew up the Death Star, Max?
Oh, my favorite part.
Oh,
We
Everyone's
don't talk
favorite
about
part.
that enough
Me too.
here.
Oh my
I thought that
God.
was Gandalf.
No, it was actually it was Jean-Luc Picard. Actually,
I was gonna say it's John Picard.
Yeah.
I'm surprised somebody didn't say that.
Well, to be fair, for these people, everything meshes together these days. It doesn't surprise me.
It's true.
I'm surprised that nobody's complained about the lack of Wookiees in Star Trek yet.
But
Yeah.
it's coming. It's coming.
It-
Give the next
It's coming.
generation time to grow up, Smu. It's coming.
It's on the way.
It's on the way.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
other
I
like?
saw that yesterday. I was like,
Oh my gosh, this is my absolute favorite story from this entire week.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
a lot of our favorite subjects is to talk about the Acolyte and its failure, and it just keeps failing. So apparently, what we initially thought this entire show cost was $180 million. Now they're saying that it was actually $230 million.
Wow.
So just to put it against something else, because this is what we use to measure other films by, this cost 15 Godzilla minus ones to make. So you can make 15 of those films, Oscar-winning films, in what it took to make this trash TV show.
So
What
bad.
did the money go
Just a
to?
smidge over the budget. I mean, it
Bad.
wasn't.
For the catering
Bobby made
services.
me watch the show. Bobby made me watch the show. I
I
had
didn't
no.
make you watch the show, Josh.
Yes, you did. I had no.
Josh is like, I was held hostage. I was blackmailed.
Orange. I'm
Kidding,
like,
he turns around and tells me that his favorite night became Tuesday night when he could turn around and call and complain.
yeah.
It's like this meme of
So
pulling
bad.
yourself
Lee
in
knows,
gunpoint.
Derek knows this was the worst show ever. Now I'm getting heated because that's how bad this show was.
Yep.
Atrocious.
I can tell you where
Derek
part,
liked it,
part of
though.
the budget went. I can tell you where part of the budget
Me?
went.
You mean
Let's-
you weren't part of the Power of Many? Power of
No.
Many.
Manny!
Derek
They should
liked it though, right,
repurpose
Derek?
that line for
Derek
like a
loved
phone
it.
provider or something.
Mags, you were way too on key for that to be accurate.
Yeah.
Many.
Well,
Manny.
that
The only thing
sounded
I
a
can
lot
think of is-
better.
That was
Good job, guys.
perfect.
we
The
swear
only thing
not
I
to
can
cult.
think of is that some of that money went to the Amanda Stenberg's diss video.
There you
That's
go.
the only-
Mm.
Yeah,
Probably,
I mean,
yeah.
she wrote that within in a week, didn't she, or something like that, or like a day or two?
Yeah.
It cost like
Yeah.
$40,000 to make or something. I think I heard something like that. It was like $48,000 or something. And I was like, man,
For
that's
that?
cheap for a rap or a diss track.
Oof.
Seriously.
That's-
Yeah. So I can bet that part of this budget actually went to all of the shills that were
Yeah.
constantly praising this, and people like Star Wars Explained,
Right.
who loved to show off all their swag and all of the things that Lucasfilm would send them. And
ramen noodles.
what a coincidence that all of those people that received their little swag bags always gave this
Mhm.
TV show an excellent rating, and they always said, no matter what, that this is the best Star Wars that we've ever gotten. So I'm pretty
That's
sure a
Star
lot of that money went to those people.
Mm-hmm. It went to the influencers.
Dr.
Oh, yeah.
Rachel, I have to piggyback on your remark, by the way.
Uh-oh.
I feel terrible for saying this, but have you noticed that Leslie Headland looks a bit like the guy who played Hagrid?
Oh.
Oh man, what an insult to Hagrid! How dare you?
I know.
How dare you?
I think she looks like a thumb. She looks like a thumb for Spy Kids.
She looks like something Madame Maxine would have sat on.
Did you guys see the really early meme for that, like when Alkalite was just being announced, and then they said who was, heading it up and everything like that, and somebody made a meme said that Leslie Headland looks like somebody drew Gina Carano from memory.
Mm-hmm.
It's like how to toast my Gina Carano. Yeah, I remember that one.
That is
Oh my gosh, that's so accurate.
And wasn't she Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant? Isn't that what you told
Yeah,
me?
she was.
Yes.
My God, all you have to be is a personal assistant and can go and write Star Wars? Good God.
I think she used to
Right,
hold the
you
door
know,
closed
right?
or something like that. I mean,
Now she put the oral packs in and pretended like she didn't hear anything.
Oh,
I just
oh
wonder,
my
like,
God.
how she
I mean,
out of
you
all
know,
the people, how did they decide her? Like, what exactly was it about her that they decided we're going to give you a chance versus, a bunch of other people that may have been agenda driven as well? But like, what
no idea.
drove them to choose her?
From what I remember and read is that Leslie Headland was friends with Amanda, and just gave it to her without giving any other actresses a chance to audition for the role. It was just
No. Gave Lindsay
No, Leslie Headland.
Oh,
Headland.
She probably had some dirt on Kathleen Kennedy or some of the executives at Disney.
Okay.
That could happen.
wasn't there a story going around that when Leslie Headland approached Kathleen Kennedy with the story, she was like, "Oh, this is a great Star Wars story. Now go make a Leslie Headland story." Wasn't there a story like that going around?
Yep,
I
heard something along
I
the
know
lines
there
of
was
that,
a story that Kathleen Kennedy cried when she saw the previewed the show or something like that.
Oh, I did too.
I did too.
Not for the same reason. Gosh.
The same reason. We're all more like crying in pain at this point.
Yeah, every single week, everybody was crying, and it wasn't of happiness.
Hey, nurses on the panel! I need a prescription for a migraine medicine.
A constant nagging migraine.
Just some of the stuff they've done with Disney and Star Wars. Like we were just talking about Obi-Wan. I just remembered the part, Bob, when Darth Vader takes Reva and chokes her. And she says, I have a tracking device. And he goes, "Oh, my apologies." Really? When does Darth Vader apologize? When does he apologize?
Well, he does now, apparently. So
apparently he apologizes. And then if somebody knows his name, he's okay with that. He would have killed
the biggest insult of that show is actually abusing James L. Jones's voice for AI. That was horrible. Or remember when Liam Neeson was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to come back for Star Wars." Yeah, that was a bloody lie, wasn't it?
I was
now
happy.
Money talks, apparently.
Yeah, money does talk.
Well, to be fair, it was just
well, if it talks, it's singing opera with that figure of 230 million.
Oh, that.
I mean, if you look at the budget for the Acolyte, right? Because we were already speculating where the budget went to. I have a assumption that some of the money went to Leslie Headland's girlfriend, and not a little fraction, not a little fraction, maybe like 30 or 40% or something like that.
Baby oil.
Oh God!
Oh my God!
Yeah, I thought I would just. I thought I would escape that baby oil stuff for one day.
Maybe we're not too far from that. You're not too far off from that truth there, Tris. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, they needed a lot of. They needed that for Manny Jacinto, so you would look good naked, right?
It was apparently Harvey Weinstein was at that party, and Leslie Headland had to go run to get that oil or something. I don't know. Maybe that's why that was her reward. Just like, here, just do Star Wars. You worked hard for it. I don't know.
Nomi.
I mean, it's just like, remember what they teach in writing schools, right? They always say like, write what you know, right? So if you look at that one particular scene I just mentioned, when Amanda's actually staring at his crotch, maybe that was the Harvey Weinstein moment.
Oh my gosh, you're right, Smu. Oh, that's the only perspective they know because that's only the experience they had.
Like I said, write what you know.
No experience with these people. They're not fans. They are not fans. They're like, come up with your own ideas. No, not for Star Wars.
I mean, just look at. Look at the recent pieces of media that came out. Most of the films that did well were actually written by people who actually gave a crap. Like look at Godzilla -1, for example, or I don't know. What else was there that was pretty successful? Sound of Freedom. Like all the movies that came out recently. Or Deadpool, even Deadpool Wolverine. I mean, granted, people have issues with that movie, but you still can't deny the success of it.
Overall, yeah, you can't.
Overall, it was.
How about
That
Andor?
was fun. That was fun.
You know,
fun.
Andor, the director says, I am not a Star Wars fan. I did not really grow up with Star Wars. Yet he has Easter eggs and he respects the canon all the time.
See, here's the thing: you've got Rogue One, and then you've got Andor, for example. Two completely separate entities from the whole entire Disney Star Wars catalog, but yet it's still connected.
Yep.
But Andor stands out like a sore thumb because it was actually made by people who actually gave a crap. I mean, Andy Serkis' performance alone in that show at the end.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
he's good.
Andy
That was so
Serkis
good.
always puts 1,000% in his.
I was gonna say it's because
There's way too much effort in a
I
lot
have
of
to
things.
throw in the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian as well until they mess it up on season 3.
until they
True.
That one was probably said to be such a great show that probably could have gone on for so many other seasons without people getting tired of it. But they just didn't help themselves. Like they just had to use it as a launching pad for all the rest of their really bad TV shows for the rest of Dave Filoni's, like all of his characters to have their own TV shows.
That was
And
the
I think that's
last
where they
time I
started.
was excited about Star Wars.
Yeah, me
Season
too.
two of Mandalorian.
As soon as I saw season 3, I was like, yeah, I don't care anymore.
I
Like,
haven't
they
seen
messed up
it. I heard it was terrible.
the
So
one
because
part.
I
Don't
loved
watch it.
1 and 2, because I loved the first 2
Don't watch
seasons
it.
so much,
Don't
I'm like,
even
I'm
watch
not
it.
even
Don't
gonna.
bother.
I'm not gonna ruin it.
Yeah, don't watch it.
That's exactly what I did too.
I didn't watch. I
did
think it was season 3 was later or something like that, and I didn't watch season 3. I just kind of lost heart.
leave a good thing alone. Don't let it be tarnished.
I'll say this, guys.
Leave my Star Wars alone.
I know some people who worked on those shows, and they even said season 3 Mandalorian we messed up, and Book of Boba Fett. They said that all went downhill. They are not sure why, but they just said the story was not there. Because I remember season 2 of Mandalorian, the finale. Bobby calls me and says, "Watch it." And I'm like, "Okay, watch it." And for Bob to say that's a change, especially.
Yeah, the finale for season 2 was great, but then season 3 was dog water.
Dog water.
Just look at the God, what was I going to say? The Book of Boba Fett. When what's his face again? Tim Ware Morrison came out and said, like, yeah, I don't even know why they made the show the way they did. And
That's pretty bad.
He even said like he disagreed with the vision of the show as well. When he was like, yeah, what's the sidekick called again? Bo-Katan? Or what was the other one? Yeah. When he was like, yeah, I don't even know why they.
You're talking about Fennec Shan.
Fennec, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When they teamed him up with her, he was like, I don't even know why they teamed her up with me. So I was like, That is a pretty telling sign that you're not actually having a good show there, you know?
Right. Well,
and you can do so much with Boba Fett too. Like you could have made a prequel before he dies in the OT.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
But you should have used Daniel Logan as Boba Fett.
Yep. They should have.
So I'm glad, like, I think we all cared about Boba Fett for one reason. We wanted to see him get out of the Sarlacc pit, which could have been incorporated in The Mandalorian. But the way they treated him in The Mandalorian, he's a mercenary.
Yes, yes.
People down. I mean, he, like Darth Vader said, no disintegrations. Like literally, the guy takes out people. And I was so excited when we thought, oh, we're getting a show at the very end when he takes out Jabba's guys. And you're like, oh, he came back for revenge. And then that was it.
You got to treat the Sun people with respect.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy how it changed
the
tone. It was crazy how it changed the tone completely. Because that's the scene that we got left off on, where him and Fennec come into the Jabba's throne room, and then he takes out the Fortuna, and you're like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get like a mob type TV show, and it's gonna be like freaking Boba Fett taking over everything and all the underground, and then that's the show we got, and we were like, what? What happened?
Back to time.
See, Ming-Na Wen is a good actress. Don't get me wrong, but she was not necessarily good for the role of
I don't think he needed anybody.
No,
he didn't need anybody.
That should have just been him doing bounty hunter things. That's what the show should have been. Nothing more. You did not need to complicate it, and that's what they did. They complicated it. I don't know if they wanted to do it because they wanted to bring kids into it, and they thought it'd be too harsh doing just a bounty hunter show. But I mean, come on.
Could you imagine a rated R Star Wars TV show just with Boba Fett, like a Judge Dredd style of TV show? Just taking out people.
Like,
that would have been cool.
The Boba Fett show should have been what the Penguin is right now. If you guys are watching,
it's the Star Wars version
of
the
what it should have been, because that one is also kind of like a mob style. Well, it is a mob style TV show because they're dealing with all of their illegal dealings with all the mob stuff. And that's what we should have gotten out of Boba Fett. But instead,
speaking of mob stuff,
whatever mess they wanted to give us. But yeah, if you guys haven't been watching The Penguin, watch The Penguin. That's a really, really good TV show. So it is a spinoff off of the Batman, the Robert Pattinson version. And everybody was kind of like, why are we getting this TV show? Did we need this TV show? Why are they making this? Apparently, 3.2 million people agree that this show is actually a really good thing to do. So I kind of gave it a chance because I was like, you know what? I usually like the mob genre, and I liked the Ben movie. So I was like, all right, let's give this a chance. And then it just kept getting better and better and better. And then that like last scene, I was like, all right, I'm in. This is going to be great. If they can keep this entire energy throughout this entire season, it's going to be it's going to be great. So I don't know if you guys have been watching it, but Colin Farrell, holy heck. Like, I can't even believe that's Colin Farrell underneath all of that stuff. It's incredible. So I don't know who else has been watching it. What do you guys think?
Love it.
It's awesome.
Love it. Incredible.
I haven't seen it yet, but I want to watch it. I just hear
you got to check this out. This is
You're
really good.
You're gonna
definitely check it out. We talked about it on our show last night, and we're just all amazed by how good this is. It's well written, well acted, well directed. It's well designed with the costumes, the sets, everything. This is just, it looks good. It feels good. It draws you in right away because the central conflict happens within within the first 10 minutes.
Not less than that, Bob. Happened in a few minutes. Less than that. It happened in like 5 minutes. If that. I was shocked.
So I mean, it's great. And then if you liked the Batman, you'll like the fact that it picks up pretty quickly right after the Batman.
I mean, I'm kind of glad that we actually got a show that about the Penguin for a change. I mean, granted, he's a bit of a wacky villain in the animated show, but at least they pay respect to the Penguin, not like the recent animated movie that we got.
Oh
no, actually, that's one of the best parts about the show is they stayed true to him, just how true they stayed to him. You know, it's really well done how they portray him. Very realistic, very true to the character too.
So I saw the comparisons being drawn between Colin Farrell and Vincent D'Onofrio with Kingpin in the Daredevil show. And I don't know if that's true or not because I haven't watched the show just yet. But
me either.
I would love to find out if it's actually true because I hear a lot of people from different sides of the internet saying it's pretty good, and that's actually a good sign because we actually need some good entertainment. Like, that's all we ask for, really. We want something to just switch off and forget about the problems of the world for just a couple of minutes, and then we can go back to normalcy.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And then the crazy thing is, Dr. Rachel can probably talk about this a little bit more because she is one of the very few viewers that is actually watching Rings of Power. So they actually they have a comparison between the viewership for the Penguin and the Rings of Power. And I think Penguin, the first episode, had the 3.2 million viewers, and I think Rings of Power only had like 903,000, right? Something like that.
Yeah, so it was about
that kind of tells you everything about the quality, the story of everything. I'm not watching that. I don't know who else besides Dr. Rachel's watching it, so I don't know if you want to like.
I'm a casual watcher.
Yeah, so Rings of Power got Rings of Power got less than 1 million household views within the first drop. So the first drop was actually 3 episodes, and they were taking those numbers after I think it was either 4 or 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't even like 1 episode first day or anything like that. That was 3 episodes over a good chunk of time, and it still couldn't break 1 million.
It's terrible.
Yep.
That is terrible.
That's the reason why they do that. They do that with a lot of TV shows now. They did it with The Acolyte. The Acolyte dropped 2 episodes. Agatha All Along also dropped 2 episodes at the same time. Rings of Power dropped 3. And that's so they can try to pretend and say, no, look at how many people are watching our show, you guys. And like Dr. Rachel just said, that's not true. The Penguin dropped 1 episode. And they got 3.2 million viewers, and Rings of Power got 902,000. You cannot tell me that these 2 shows are comparable. They just aren't in quality.
But it speaks for the quality of the show, you know.
Yeah, you know,
I am too. I'm probably going to be watching that episode tonight.
Oh,
right?
I was genuinely uncomfortable watching that snippet. It was either Lily or Dr. Rachel's straight like feed on Twix, and I saw that, and I mean, it's not like these characters are real or whatever, but like knowing who they're supposed to be, like I was actually grossed out and uncomfortable because like just like everybody else, I'm like, dude, that's your mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Dude, what in the West Virginia nonsense?
And the way that it's acted, because I have not seen it, but that clip in general, just the way it's acted, I'm like, I was visibly cringing out of my seat at work. I'm like, what is this? I
just saw that.
I need bleach for my eyes.
Literally, brother, ew.
And this is another thing too, because they keep saying that men do not like to watch any kind of TV show where a woman is the lead of anything. Who is the main villain of the Penguin right now?
Oh, Falcone's daughter.
Exactly. It's a woman. And everybody on this panel who is a guy that's watched it is saying that this is a great TV show.
Yeah.
So
she's a great character.
Sorry.
I have a good example. I've got a good example of a man and woman dynamic. The recent Gentleman TV show. That was a brilliant dynamic between a man and a woman. And it's not even forced. It's actually a good chemistry between the 2 lead actors. And that's all you really need. And if the show is well written, it's even better. You know?
Well, yeah. Well, that's why we're drawing the comparison with the Penguin, because you have the man who's the Penguin, and then you have the woman who's the villain. They're setting her up. You have that dynamic already done. Whereas in Rings of Power, you also have your leads that are males and females, but they're not well done. They're not well written. So this is kind of debunking the entire lie that, oh no, men don't want to see any women and like lead roles and blah, 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 blah. Like, no, that's not true. Like, we have a big panel today with a lot of men who are saying that's not true.
So I have a question.
I was going to say, I recently just watched Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles for the very first time. And I thought that was a fantastic show.
That was a fantastic show.
You've got the lead is Sarah Connor, and the Terminator is a female Terminator. And I absolutely love this show. It has nothing to do with a female lead. It's like Lily says, it's about them being well written. If you have well written characters, it doesn't matter what their gender is, their races, orientation, any of that. All we want are good, well-written characters. And if you can provide that, the audience is going to be there to watch them, because we relate not to gender or race or any of that. We relate to the human experience. And so we want to see characters that are well-written.
And you know it when you see it. You know it when you see it.
So my question, I guess, for Dr. Rachel and whoever else, Ring of Powers, obviously they're saying it's bad. Did Peter Jackson have anything to do with it at all, or this is somebody totally new?
This is somebody totally new. This is not a Peter Jackson thing at all. This is full-on Amazon, just
fan fiction,
doing like the worst kind of fan service imaginable and bastardizing every single character, every single place. Timeline is an absolute mess. Like, this is not Tolkien whatsoever.
I like how Gandalf got his inspiration from Tom Bombadil. You know, that iconic line that he says in Fellowship of the Ring when Frodo, thinks about like it would be better to kill Gollum, and he gives this wonderful speech that we're all inspired by, and come to find out Gandalf just stole it from some, crazy old dude in the forest who sings too much.
Yeah, that is what paid me. I have no idea how Dr. Rachel is still watching that TV show. I can't. I hear all of these things from you guys, and it just makes me so angry, just angry that I can't watch it. I can't watch it because I'm gonna break something, and I don't want to do that.
I watch it to make fun of it.
It's too long.
Yep.
I guess I could put up with watching like The Acolyte because the episodes were 30 minutes long, but having to sit there with like Rings of Power, first of all, bored and angry, that's not a good combination.
Bored and angry. Well, it's better than being bored and hungry.
I tried to give the first episode a watch. I watched the first episode from season 1, and that was it. I couldn't watch anymore. But the good thing is I drove by the landfill the other day, so I feel like I've seen the rest of the show.
It's shocking though. So like I've been watching all of it. It's shocking that.
Oh my gosh!
Like I can't even.
She's lost of words, guys.
I'm at a loss of words, and I've been teaching all day. So,
Dang,
but like somehow, like season 1 was terrible, but the way that they like tried to justify Sauron's actions and stuff in the first episode of season 2 made season 1 even worse. And I did not think that was possible. So they're already starting off that strong, and it's just been an absolute crap ever since.
My favorite part is how the orcs have families now that they have to feed. I never thought about it from that perspective.
They showed us how they reproduce as well.
I would like to know if the orcs pay taxes and if they're just as fed up with the economy as we are.
No, they do squatting. They clearly do squatting, Tabitha.
My favorite part is the shills trying to justify why the orcs have families, and I'm like, nope. That doesn't because they can reproduce does not mean they have like full-on nuclear family loving relationships.
Yeah.
Remember,
they are the baddies.
Oh my god!
Remember, guys, it's an Amazon Prime show. It's for shippers by shippers.
Yeah,
It's
true.
Yep.
Yeah.
True.
No, like these people. Honestly, these people are invading every single fandom. We saw it with the Acolyte. Everybody's shipping Khmer and Osha and all of this nonsense. Now we're getting the same thing over here with Rings of Power. Now no one cares about the story anymore. They just care about which characters are going to get together and who these deranged people can actually think about.
Oh, no. Make it stop. Oh, it really.
If I had to see it, you had to see it too.
Okay, it does.
You've already seen it.
It's like watching a brother and sister kiss. It really
Get
is
it over with. Play it.
really that gross.
I'm
Sorry,
physically
guys.
repulsed by watching this scene over and over again. Like,
why do you watch it over and over again?
But hold on, I
Because
just
what-
bourbon.
no,
It's for
but-
research
no, but-
purposes.
No, because it's constantly running in the background when I reply to tweets.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Annoys me.
hold on a
It's-
second, guys. I have a question. You guys are, talking about this and saying how disgusting it is. But have you seen Game of Thrones?
No.
Well,
I mean, that's like
Hey, it's gross there too.
Yeah, but you go into Game of Thrones knowing that information.
Exactly.
It is
No,
not
that
that
incest
kind
is
of-
canonical in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that is canonical in Games of Thrones. Like, you
That's
know
part
what
of the
you're setting
drama.
yourself up for.
Yeah.
This is how George R.R. Martin wrote it. That's how he wrote it to be. Whereas this is Tolkien. Tolkien was very Catholic. He was very religious. This is weird. If you guys don't know, like, the background is these two. She's gonna become Elrond's mother-in-law because he married her daughter. So he's kissing his mother-in-law, his future mother-in-law.
Plus,
So-
like, I'm just curious, Dr. Rachel, you know better than I would. This time frame, I'm gonna take it then because of the way they've done this that Arwen and her brothers haven't even been born yet. Then,
So this timeline is all over the place. None of it makes sense. Timeline wise, she should already be married, have kids.
Yeah.
And I think at this part, Elrond, I don't know if he would already be married to Galadriel's daughter or not. High King knows a lot more about the lore than I would, but because Rings of Power jumps around so much, it's nearly impossible to tell you what actual time things are happening.
Oh my.
Yeah.
It just
We
doesn't
just
make
know
sense.
that everything is everywhere,
Wrong.
happening all at
All at
once.
once.
I'm wrong, and it's completely wrong.
This
Mhm.
reminds me of that Weird Al song that's literally titled "Everything You Know Is Wrong."
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, this sounds
Yeah,
like a
this
lot
is
of fun. I can't wait to watch.
Ugh.
Mike,
It's just head explosion after head explosion. That's what Rings of Power is.
I kind of want to watch it now.
Yeah.
Shut up, Josh.
Good luck.
No, you don't.
Have a strong
Go.
drink in hand at all times.
Go with
Yeah,
your
Like the
discretion,
strongest of
guys.
drinks.
I can sell the show to you in one phrase. Galadriel tanking a pyroclastic flow from an exploding volcano.
Wow. Okay.
That's
Too
how
many
strong
big
she is.
words.
And there's that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's
Yeah.
covered in
Um,
Cheeto dust an episode later.
I mean,
So
I guess you can play the clip, right, without the audio, and it'll be okay.
No, it'll
Yeah,
never
I
be
know,
okay.
I know everyone's asking for
It will
it,
never
It'll be okay.
be okay. Oh my gosh.
that was a perfect freeze frame.
Oh my gosh. I gotta cover my eyes. This is weird.
Oh wow! No.
There's no
Oh,
chemistry.
the mother-in-law.
Yeah, no, you're
Because
right,
there
Rachel.
shouldn't
There's
be.
Zero
There shouldn't
chemistry
be.
there.
well, who was I wish I saved the tweet, but someone was saying like it was. So they're trying to defend. It's like, oh, it's not a chaste kiss. It's like, yeah, it is. That is
Why are
definitely
there
intended.
orcs watching these people do this?
I don't know,
See that
because it's
face?
weird, because it's for the shippers. These people
Why
are weird
are
with
elves
that. Oh my God.
associating with orcs?
So she's been captured by the orcs, being held hostage, and I guess he's trying to. What it sounds like is he's trying to help her escape, and people are saying that he like transferred a key or pin or something to her, doing that to help her escape. But it's like it's still just
Weird.
like half-assed writing to try to justify your stupid shipping. That's all that is.
So that the
Like,
orcs
writers
just let
want
Elrond
these two
walk
to
in?
kiss, and they're doing the worst way possible of trying to justify it. And
Oh, okay.
it doesn't matter how you justify it, it's stupid, and this
Mhm.
should not be a thing.
Gross.
But like the amount of people trying to justify this, though, like I was going at it with one of my followers because he loves this TV show. You can't tell him anything; everything's correct. They're following the lore, which I'm like wondering if he's ever actually read the books. That no, he said that this is completely justified because if we notice, this was just a very friendly kiss between friends. It meant nothing, and I'm over here thinking, I don't remember kissing any of my friends.
I was just about to say,
like that.
Lily. Yes, I too casually go up to my my male friends and be like, smooch.
And then it's
just
not only
walk
that, but
away.
it's a slow, it's like a
That's so-
slow
and
smooch, and it's a pull
weird.
away
And I'm like,
too.
And
Yeah,
it
it
looked
is
like
a-
there was tongue
Yeah.
too.
This show
Weird.
is so
Thanks,
this show
Nomi.
between this season and
hate
the
you
last
now.
one is famous for like they are absolutely famous for just stealing stuff from other movies and shows. And I would not be surprised if they just like suddenly rope in Celeborn and have Galadriel have her daughter, and then full on Twilight scene where Jacob falls in love with the baby, the weird CGI baby. I would
Oh my
not be surprised if Rings of
What
Power
if you
did
think
that.
they are you trying to say that maybe it's like Arwen is Elrond and Galadriel's daughter?
Yep.
They're either going to rewrite it or do a Twilight thing. I'm
And
sorry
it's
to the
not
chat
it's not
for the
over. I predict that she's gonna end up kissing Sauron too. So they're gonna
Yeah.
turn this into like a
Yes,
weird.
this Galadriel looks like she gets
She gets around.
She's
She
there's
gets
a,
around
there's-
but pretends she doesn't.
you know
I guess,
she,
there's,
when
I guess there's an OnlyFans in this show, I guess, or
you
some
know,
sort
when
of
you're
open
around
version
for
of it.
like
Only elves.
10,000
Not
years.
spoken version, excuse me, Amazon's version of it. Excuse me, I apologize.
Gary's tweet is very accurate that I put in the private chat. He actually added a good jingle to the whole scene.
Uh-oh.
That summarizes this perfectly.
Oh.
Oh God.
Wait. Okay.
What
It's
did
just
Gary do?
the private chat. No.
Hold on. I think I see it. I'm getting it. I don't know if this is Gary's chat. Is the one that you just sent me?
No, the
I know what
one
you're
above
talking
that.
about.
But this
Yes.
is the defense force that you have. Apparently, she apologized. Or Elrond apologized to her, but that doesn't change the fact that he kissed his mother-in-law.
I know what you're talking about now. Smu, give me a second.
Disgusting.
God. This show makes Twilight look like Citizen Kane.
What an awkward conversation you had to have with your.
How dare you insult Citizen Kane that way?
Rewind it a little bit just so we see the intro.
Thanks a lot,
Because
Smith.
that perfectly sums it up. There you go.
Oh gosh.
Here.
No, I'm gonna get hit. No, I'm gonna get hit.
Wow.
No,
It's
Smith,
okay.
why did you?
It's okay. It's gonna be okay.
And then what I love is that my comments is like right underneath.
There it is. Yep.
I know. I
That's
love
the one that's
that.
Lily, what
You.
did I missed? What is that tweet from you, Lily?
She's
It
aggressive.
says something like, I really hate all these shippers, and then it's like angry Arthur Fist.
Oh,
Angry
Mhm.
Arthur Fist.
Angry Arthur Fist. So they know that I'm serious about how angry I
Yeah, of
am.
course. Yes.
Yeah, and you thought the Acolytes budget was bad.
No.
Oh,
You don't heard how bad this
no.
one is.
What was this one again? It was like, what
$1
did they pay to get it?
billion.
Yeah.
This is
No
a
way,
$1 billion show.
For
Yikes.
5 seasons that they are contractually obligated to complete.
Wow.
Mhm.
No.
Good luck getting that over the finish line. Good luck.
You know what? Dr. Rachel, did you see the news that came out though? The guy that plays the elf. Now it kind of starting to sound like they're not even sure if they're gonna go beyond season 2 because he kept saying that I hope there's a season 3. Like I hope we get to
Whoa.
make a season 3.
I hope you don't.
Really?
Yeah, please.
I
just
really hope you
completely-
don't.
Completely write it off. Just be done with it. Stop.
Take the L.
Take the
He's
L.
making it. He made it sound like they're iffy about it now because when they had season 1, remember how they were like, yeah, we're gonna make 5 seasons and it's gonna be like the greatest thing ever. And all of a sudden, this guy comes out and he's like, I hope we get to make a season 3. Like, why would you say that if you're not completely sure? If you
Yeah,
guys
I'm not
came out
surprised.
last
I
year,
I think they originally, were hoping for 5 seasons, but they knew they would only get 3, and that's why so much of it is so compacted into seasons 1 and 2 because they know they're not going to get 5. But at this
No.
point, they're probably not sure if they're going to get 3. They know they're not going to
Well,
do 5. There's no way.
exactly. Can you imagine how many viewers
No.
they're gonna have by season 5 if this season was actually cut in half?
27.
Like this is actually half of the
About as
viewers that
many
they had for
Concord
season 1.
players.
So that's insane. It would be like crazy.
You know what
Damn,
amazes
Rachel.
me? You know what
What?
amazes me about these shows?
Am I wrong?
No.
You're talking about this show that has $1 billion budget, right?
Right.
And it was supposed to go at least 5 seasons. And now we don't even know if it's going to go up to a 3rd season. Why?
Yep.
You're seeing all the negative reviews. Change the show.
Yeah.
Like
It's
go,
in their
Actually-
power to do that. Yeah.
go ahead and fix it while
Yep.
it's going on instead of just saying, okay, we give up. Maybe if you change
See-
the story, you could fix it.
Yeah, but
I
that's
mean,
a
Well, they
trade
listened to
of
the
bad- that's
fans
a
in the
trade of bad,
beginning.
right?
They wouldn't need to change it. They would have absolutely gotten 5 seasons.
But
And
that's
not
a
only
trade-
that. Oh, go ahead.
Right,
Go ahead.
I
No,
was
go ahead,
just
Derek.
I was just going to say, but that's a trait of bad writing now, is that they blame it on everybody else. It's the same thing as Star Wars. You know, it's like
I mean-
if it's bad, it's not my fault. It's your fault that you don't understand it. You know,
I
but
keep
then when it's
mentioning
great, they take all the flowers.
I keep bringing this up on some shows that I'm on, but think about how many shows got canned before they reached their full potential. Like, look at like Firefly or Almost Human, even that Carl Urban show that was pretty good actually. You've got so many seasons that didn't even make it past season 1, or maybe only had half a season if we're lucky. And then you have trash like this that gets like 5, 6, 7 seasons. Even that's the Star Trek show that I'm losing the name for. I think
Discovery.
it was Discovery. Oh yeah, Discovery. Yeah, even that got like so many seasons. I'm like, who's watching this? Like,
Firefly
I don't get
deserved
it. Firefly deserved better. I agree.
Yes, it does.
It's probably all the people that are just reviewing it, like Dr. Rachel. It's not actual fans. It's the same thing that happened with the Acolyte. If other people hadn't reviewed it for content, they probably would have had a really sad amount of viewers too. So I have a feeling most of the people that are left are just reviewing it for content, which is really sad.
So here's a question for the panel: do you think Disney's going to pull a Willow on Acolyte?
No.
If
No.
they haven't already,
I think it's too much
so.
their baby that they could do that. To do that would to be completely humbling and humiliating to admit it did so badly that they had to give it the Willow treatment. Willow, let's just be real. Like there is it's an underappreciated film that I absolutely love, and there is just basically a tiny community that absolutely adores this movie. That I'm surprised it even. Yeah, I mean, I think it's great. I just it's a small community in comparison to many others, and so the fact that it even got a show was amazing. I was really looking forward to it until it was like, maybe not. But anyway, to do that to a Star Wars show, I don't think they would have the guts to humble themselves enough to
I'd be
do
shocked.
that. With as much that they put behind this show.
I agree with you, Tabitha, because not only did they put a lot behind the show, but they talked this thing up like how great it was. Praising
Willow
Leslie
just kind of
Headland.
came in unannounced. They were like, let's give Willow a try. And then like, nah, let's not.
And to this day, they still won't admit how bad the sequel trilogy was. And if they're not going to admit to that, I mean, with every failure, they just double down. And that's the way I see they're going to be with this. Yeah, maybe they'll admit failure in the boardroom as far as, okay, well, let's try to do something a little different, but they're not going to do it publicly. And they're not going to they're going to let that thing just sit there.
Of course not.
There's too many people and moving parts involved that are already mostly activists, but there's too many people and too many parts involved and too much Hollywood, let's just put it that way, that's heavily involved with Star Wars to the point where they can't even do that because they are so, it's not just ego driven, but they're so invested in themselves in that way that they to admit failure of a large project like Star Wars or Disney Star Wars in general is that would just be a tragedy basically for them. For Willow, it's like just like Tabitha said, it's Willow is a definitely it's got its niche following, but it's not as large as Star Wars. That's just
I mean, think about it. They made the biggest IP in the world a streaming product. Think about that for a second. Like, when was the last time we had a movie from Star Wars? It has been like 5 to 6 years, right?
Real quick, before we bring that information into our little group circle here, because I do want to hear these answers. We do need to wish Dreaming Tabitha adieu.
I gotta go. I gotta get my flag ready. I'm not missing this opportunity.
Go get us the weather update.
Take a picture.
Weather update.
I know. Weather by Tabitha.
It's windy outside. I can't see. My windows are closed. I don't let light into my office. Are you kidding? No, but thank you for having me on. It's been a lot of fun and a pleasure to meet the gentlemen, and great seeing and hearing Mags again, and always a pleasure. Thank you for having me back on. I mean, I was in the thumbnail, so I kind of had to be here.
It was suggestive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I felt no pressure at all. Yeah. No, Lily explained it, and it's all good. Yeah. But no, I'm gonna go make sure everything's stay safe, and I got some artwork that I have to work on. So it's been great, guys.
Been a real slice. Tabitha, be safe. We'll see you later. If you're live, stream tomorrow at the Horror King, waving your flag. I want to see that.
Absolutely. And also go follow my artwork. It's really cool. I did a really cool video, and I may or may not have had DJ Cobra on the channel, sort of kind of giving me art ideas. So check it out.
It's a good video.
Bye.
Bye, Tabitha.
Hi, Tabitha.
Yay. Oh, we love Tabitha.
I feel bad. Did I talk too much about the acolyte in front of her?
I think it's because I accidentally showed the kiss, so that's made her sick. So that's why she's got to go.
Oh, okay.
Tabitha's a huge Star Wars fan too. So that's anytime we get to talk Star Wars also, like Tabitha's super on top of it.
Life's hard right now is basically what you're saying.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I was going to make like a comment to what Smu was saying about how they brought like the biggest IP to streaming. See, that's where the problem is though, is not that it's on streaming, it's just the writing.
Yes.
Because how much money did they make off of merchandise for The Mandalorian when that dropped?
Yep.
Everybody went insane over Grogu, over Baby Yoda, that everybody was trying to find all of this merch. People were trying to buy stuff for The Mandalorian. Every single kid that I saw during Halloween was dressed up as either The Mandalorian or Grogu.
Yeah.
They were growing the brand in that direction. So I feel like it's possible to do something like that because the beauty of The Mandalorian is that it's still Star Wars, but it's far enough from the rest of the trilogy that it doesn't really affect anything going on with all of our main characters and all of that stuff that's happening in the movies. And it was actually a really good show too. I don't know about you guys, but I do like the formula that this was kind of like each episode they had them doing like something different. It was like a little side quest or whatever. I like that. I think that's cute. That was the whole point of the TV show, was Mando, and now all of a sudden he's a dad because he's got a baby that he has to take care of. And the baby just so happens to have magic powers. And I thought that was cute. That's cute, and that appeals to both of your audiences, because you've got the Mandalorian who's also being like a super badass. And sometimes he went on missions without Grogu, and he had to be an absolute savage. And that appeals to a lot of the male audience. And then it appeals to the female audience because Mando's, he's hot. And you have a cute little baby. So you kind of bring everybody together. And a lot of people that weren't even Star Wars fans to begin with enjoyed this TV show. Now, all of a sudden, they failed with season 3. Supposedly, we're getting a movie that I haven't even heard an update for either. And they kind of ruined their own momentum. They messed it up because they try to bring in Ahsoka. They try to bring in the Acolyte. They brought in all of these other TV shows that people just were not that into. And why? Because of their terrible writing.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can make a project work for streaming. It's just that you have to make it good.
Yeah.
I could watch Star Wars if it was good. I could watch Star Wars every week if they had a brand new episode, brand new series, and it was good writing. I could watch it. I don't think it's too much. I just think it's horrible writing.
It is.
So I don't know how familiar you are with Knights of the Old Republic, Josh. Have you heard about the game?
Oh yeah.
Right. There was supposed to be a remake coming out, right?
Right.
And the studio that was helming the project actually got their rights taken away from them. So it's actually with the people who worked on the recent Warhammer game.
Okay.
So I have more faith in that project now than before.
That's good.
And they actually fired the writer that was supposedly working on that remake. So, like I said, I have higher hopes for that project now than ever. Maybe it will be good. Maybe not.
Hopefully, I don't know. They tend to. What was the other movie? The other video game they did? The one with Cal Keston.
Jedi Survivor.
Yeah, Jedi Survivor.
Fallen Order.
Fallen Order.
YouTube. They have the cutscenes of the movie. It is fantastic.
It was great. Yeah.
Able to they have everyone in there. They have Luke. They have Leia. They have Han. They have Kylo Ren. They have everyone in there. But it flows, and it's a great story with setting, right when the Death Star blows up, and they do that project. What was it? Casino? I forgot what it was called. I have no idea. Who knows? But anyway, and it's funny because Lily mentioned Mandalorian. When it first came out, I was like, okay, they're doing a space western. Okay, not sure. I'll watch. But they brought in Baby Yoda that was so mysterious that we were all hooked. Eventually, if you took Baby Yoda out of there now, you could watch a season with Mando because we know how he is now. but they were able. It was brilliant writing to begin with, because you brought in someone like, oh my God, there is another species like Yoda, and Waddle. There's, this guy Grogu, who everyone called Baby Yoda, and they told the story and they really built it up. And if he went away and stayed with Luke, we'd be fine with Mando going on different adventures. But they just lost it.
That's what season 3 should have been.
Yeah.
It's just Mando off on his own doing adventures. Yep. They did not need to bring Grogu back into it, because you literally undid the entire ending of season 2.
They did. And I think, go ahead, Smu.
I mean, the team up between Boba Fett and the Din Djarin was actually pretty badass, and they should have just stuck with that.
Yeah.
Make a buddy cop kind of show with Boba Fett and Din Djarin. That would have been way better.
Yeah, but, I agree.
Disney has no competent people running Star Wars. If you would have smart people working at Disney Star Wars or Lucasfilm, they would have said like, hey, let's check out what worked, what the audience resonated with, and then work with that.
Yes.
But clearly they don't do that, because you have games that are better than the TV shows, which should tell you everything you need to know about the current state of Disney Star Wars.
Exactly.
And it's kind of sad that the games are better than the current day slop that we get from Disney.
Yeah,
and I don't know if you guys heard, like, now you reminded me that Cal Kestis is actually coming to live action. We're gonna see him.
Yeah.
If they keep the actor, that's good. If they don't, then don't even bother.
So it sounds like it sounds like we're gonna see him in a project. They haven't said which project we're gonna see him in, but they said that he's coming to live action. But like with the Mando stuff, I think that it's totally fine for Grogu to have come back with Mando. It's just that they did it way too soon, and I feel like they panicked. They were like, oh no, guys, no one's gonna watch The Mandalorian if we don't have him with Grogu and blah blah blah. But people were already invested in Din Djarin. We already liked him as a character, and there's a bunch of little kids who absolutely love The Mandalorian. If you watch all of the premieres, these little kids are like the most adorable ever. Like Pedro will go over there, and then they don't recognize him obviously because he doesn't have his like armor on or anything. Right. But he'll go over there and he's like, "Hey guys, I'm the Mandalorian," and all these little kids go crazy because that's finally they had a hero that they could look up to. Like my 10-year-old nephew, that's his hero. If you guys ask him about anything else, he wants to be Mando when he grows up. That's what he wants to be. And I absolutely love that, because I'm like, you know what? They finally gave these kids somebody that they could look up to, the way that a lot of little boys had Luke Skywalker and a lot of little kids looked up to Obi-Wan Kenobi and all of these other like amazing Jedi. And now all of a sudden you throw into the mix a Mandalorian, which is something that we've never really seen before, because Boba Fett was supposed to be kind of like this shady guy, not really someone, that little kids could look up to. Mando's kind of shady too, but at the end he kind of does the right thing. So it just blows my mind how they just messed this all up for everybody collectively. Like real now quick. They took away.
Oh, go ahead, finish your thing, Lily, because I got something.
That they took away a lot of people's, first of all, little kids superhero that they looked up to with Mando.
Yep.
They took away this TV show that a lot of people were actually enjoying. Yep. And they probably lost so much money with people just kind of having nothing to go back to and watch.
Yeah.
Speaking of superheroes, we got breaking news right now that just came into my DMs, and we got DreamingTabitha.
Guys.
It needs the Team America theme song.
Perfect.
That is awesome.
That's great.
That reminds me of Ryan Kinnell doing the tornado watch and drinking beers outside of his house.
See, Josh, there is no excuse for when we have you do something.
Josh.
You can do it. We send you out to do something.
Hey, I do everything you tell me to do, and I don't complain.
Oh,
that's your fault.
We have a new superhero, Tabitha. You're my hero.
Even though she forgot to add America in US.
She's a new Florida woman.
Yeah, she is. You Florida woman. She's the hero that we all need in our lives right now, versus what's like the anti-hero what Disney's producing.
Okay, but now we need a clip from Dr. Rachel too. Like she's also a Florida woman, so
Dr. Rachel, we will give you
something.
Drink a beer.
we will give you permission to step out real quick.
You should wear your Sauron costume out in the and wave the flag.
Oh boy, I'll have to think of something.
Make it a short. Make it a short.
Rachel, do you know how amazing that would be if you were just dressed up like that with the hurricane? You'd probably get more views and more likes and more engagement versus what's currently produced by Amazon right now.
Probably, yeah. All right, I'll do something after the show and put it up on Twitter.
We're pressuring Rachel.
Yep.
Peer
By the way,
pressure.
subscribe to Online Crafting, guys.
So this is the real
This is
reason
what
why
crafty
Tabitha
people do.
Well, that's the real reason that Tabitha stepped away. So she had to go do.
Oh my
She saw an
gosh,
opportunity and took
Tabitha.
it.
That's commitment, guys. That's commitment.
Yes. Yes. See, man, if you can't tell, we love our Florida women here, guys.
I don't want to meet that shit. I'm a Florida woman.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
But yes, no, it's I don't know the writing and everything with going on, but yes, you're right, Lily. Just like it's just with the people doing with the fan base. Like, look, you made a good character, you got kids liking it, but now you're kind of losing focus on it.
Well, I think Kathleen Kennedy comes in at times and messes things up, and I think that's a big issue. And you can kind of tell when something is different. You know, I was a big Clone Wars fan and a big Star Wars Rebels fan. And Bobby calls Dave Filoni my boy. He says, "Oh, you say Dave Filoni cannot do any wrong." Well, Ahsoka came out. I didn't hate it as much as Bob did. But Ahsoka, yeah. But when I watched every Star Wars Rebel episode, Sabine Wren was never a Jedi. She was a Mandalorian.
Yes.
Yep.
Josh. I'm gonna be best friends with Josh. I will have conversations about this.
You see? And so that's what I don't get. It's like all of a sudden Filoni changes his mind and is like, oh, guess what? Sabine Wren is a Jedi. Really? That's a little sketchy. Like Kathleen Kennedy had something to do with that, in my opinion.
Remember when she went from having no force powers to suddenly being able to be force sensitive and actually doing the force push?
Yeah.
Yeah, about that.
Not force push. I mean, she pushed him,
that was a force fight.
Chasm of air.
No,
there,
my favorite part is when she survived a lightsaber through the gut.
Oh,
God.
Don't get me started on that one. Don't get me started on that one.
Qui-Gon doesn't survive, but everyone else does.
Qui-Gon deserved better, guys. Qui-Gon deserved better.
Qui-Gon does deserve better.
See, Josh, that's your boy Filoni.
Your boy.
He signed off on everything on the Acolyte. So we are no longer Dave Filoni fans.
Okay, Lily, I heard a rumor that everything with the Acolyte was way before he got the new power, the new creativity. So, and he couldn't do anything about it. That's an inside source I heard. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when it comes up.
Out on that one.
I don't trust him anymore because season 3 was all him, and you could tell because he bait and switched us with Bo-Katan. That was all Dave Filoni. So no, after that, to me, he's just phony Filoni, full of baloney.
Don't say that, Lily. Say that. No.
When it came to the Acolyte, Filoni committed a felony.
Yeah,
she sure did.
Well, I mean, okay. I'll keep my mouth shut because that might
go ahead.
That might cancel out for me.
Max, are we still friends? Are we?
Yeah, we're still friends now. We're still friends. We can still be friends.
Man,
a little bit.
What is that?
What do you mean they don't add up? What do you mean they don't add up? Forbes, huh? What do you mean? Oh, it's Paul Tassi as well. Yeah. Well,
actually, this is the one article where I do agree with Paul Tossi. Yes, I know. That's probably why I have no internet right now, because something that we never thought would happen happened. So, Paul, if you guys don't know the backstory, Paul Tossi has the worst track record for having the worst takes at Forbes, especially his Star Wars ones. So this one, he's basically saying that what we were kind of touching on before is that all of these numbers for the viewership doesn't actually add up. So we kind of already touched up on this, where they release 3 episodes at a time, they release 2 episodes at a time, and this is what he's kind of going through in this article. So he's saying that Star Wars, when the Acolyte came out, they were like, yay, we have so many people that are like watching our show, look at how successful it is, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, like Dr. Rachel had said, with Rings of Power, they released 3 episodes, and over a period of days of people watching it, they counted that as the viewership, which is very disingenuous because we have the Penguin, who only dropped 1 episode, and look at how many viewers they managed to keep. And this is just kind of what he's going through in this article. And I wanted to add it because this is the one time, probably the only time, I'm actually going to agree with this guy.
Wow. Yeah.
So did hell freeze over because Lily?
Yeah, it's weird.
Lily's great.
Yeah. That's why we're all like, what? The hurricane, the internet outage, that's why everything's happening.
By the way, Lily, I told Bob yesterday, it does drive me crazy when they add 2 episodes to start, and then it's like, oh, we have an 8-episode season, and it's like you're done in just like a couple of weeks. It's ridiculous.
Well, that was a good thing with the Acolyte, because then we finished quicker.
I was about to say, that actually sped it up at least.
Yeah.
We need more Acolyte. Exactly. We need more Acolyte.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
I think we're okay without it.
I'm
well,
good.
I don't know, because a lot of people really wanted to get renewed because it did a lot of good for their channels and for a lot of people's money.
No.
Maybe I should talk a lot more about Disney Star Wars in the future.
But yeah, that was the one article where I'm gonna agree with Paul Tossi. So you guys better you can clip this out.
Does the nurse need her own prescription medicine?
300 Mirrors Exposed. It's actually a Star Wars show.
Circus that time.
I
will never agree with him again.
I think I read the article. Didn't he also talk about how that Disney was a bigger platform? Also, the fact that you're talking about Star Wars, so it should have more viewers because people are trying to compare it like it's apples to apples. And I think he actually said that in the article, but it's not the same thing. You can't compare the two because they're not alike. Each is going to have a different type of viewership, and it's like you were saying earlier, Smu. I mean, this was the largest IP in the history of franchises and movies here, and it's going to have a much larger viewership. The Penguin shouldn't even be on the same radar, and the fact that it's even being compared, that shows to the sad state of Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, you got a spin-off of the Robert Pattinson movie that was not the most beloved Batman movie, but still was moderately successessul.
I liked it.
Yeah. It was good.
I really liked it.
It was good,
yeah.
Some people didn't like it, but the majority did, and I quite liked it too. And I'm kind of glad they made more with the Penguin because I thought the Penguin was criminally underused in that movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
So,
and because Colin Farrell, and because a lot of people didn't even know that was Colin Farrell at first. I think once the movie came out and everybody realized it, they were like, "What? That's Colin Farrell? He's probably going to be nominated for something, or at least he better be."
Oh, good.
He should be.
I also like the fact that the actress, I keep forgetting her name, but the one that's playing
Falcone's
but the Falcone's daughter.
Yeah.
That she actually has a background of being a fan of Batman too.
Yeah.
So instead of coming out and being all negative from the beginning and being like, well, I don't know how the men are going to react to me, a woman being a lead in a TV show. No, she actually comes out and she's talking about the fact that she's very honored to be in this TV show. She really enjoyed being here and that she wants to do her best because she is a fan of Batman and she grew up with this stuff too. So, I mean, I don't know. Look at the differences between the way that they promote this and they're promoting something like The Acolyte and Rings of Power and Agatha All Along.
Right.
Look at the difference. And then look at the thing that's actually failing versus the thing that's actually succeeding. It's the same thing with House of the Dragon, too. I mean, it's a no-brainer, but for some reason, the Disney side of things and Amazon now, too, they just don't seem to connect the two things.
No.
I mean, you have Clancy Brown in the show as well, playing Salvatore. Clancy Brown is pretty good. I mean, he lost some points for me when he was in Ahsoka, but whatever. Clancy.
He's always the Kurgan for me.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, exactly.
He's always.
If you think about it, the actress who plays Falcone did Wolf of Wall Street. She also was in Black Mirror.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, but she also did How I Met Your Mother. Surprisingly enough, I didn't.
Oh,
I
that's
totally
right.
forgot she was in that show.
Ooh.
I totally
right.
forgot she was in that show. I was
Well,
like, okay.
She's like so good though. I'm looking forward to the TV show, not just because of Colin Farrell, but because of her too. Like she did so well, like playing that psycho who's just on the verge of kind of, going crazy, but she kind of like manages to hold it all in.
She always looks like she's about to snap.
Yes,
just about there.
Yeah,
but you kind of need that for a show like this, though. You need an unpredictable character that is about to snap. Oh, she was in Fargo as well. Oh, well,
she was in everything.
Another show. Fargo was good. The first season was pretty good.
You know, it's funny about the Penguin. I was telling Bob and Derek just last night. I'm a diehard Batman fan, and whenever there's like a show about Gotham or Batman, and I'm always like, I want to see Batman. I want to see Batman. And here we have the Penguin at night, doing stuff. And it's the first time you didn't need Batman. It was such a good show that you're like, Batman's maybe lurking, but we didn't need to see him. And it's building something up. I don't know if he's going to show up. They said no way, but that could just be a,
Honestly, I'm good with not having Batman in the show. Because I think Batman is overused at this point for a lot of things. So it's actually kind of good that they have something that is within Gotham that doesn't necessarily need him,
Right.
And it's the same thing with the, I mean, I hate to bring the show up, but remember Batwoman?
Oh my God.
And how she killed Kevin Conroy in these Crisis on Infinite Earth spin-off?
Oh God. Oh.
No.
You had to bring that one up.
Oh God.
I watched it recently, so it's very fresh in my memory, sadly.
Oh, that one pissed me
off.
off.
That was horrible.
Smooth band.
Kevin Conroy pissed me off, and then what they did with Tom Welling's Superman
power.
and that just
yeah. Don't even get me started on that one.
It was horrible.
It
was horrible.
Yeah. Jeez.
Oh God.
Well, I suffered through all seasons of The Flash. Okay, chat. I suffered through all of them because I was just.
I love how Smooth's the one that brought it. I love how Smooth's the one that brought it up, and then he's like, "Don't get me started, guy."
Don't get me started. Honestly, I'll get myself started.
I used to like the Arrowverse up until the point they fumbled the ball so freaking
I
hard.
look so forward to that show. I told Bobby, don't watch. He did not want the end of it. I said, you can't watch this. That's how bad it was.
Oh, and then you know what? Like another thing that I saw a lot of people commenting on too is that they like another aspect of the Penguin show that people like is that it's a little bit more grounded, I guess, in reality. Where as like if you watch the Tim Burton Batman movies or you watch a lot of these other movies, they tend to get a little bit kooky and overacted and kind of a little bit corny at times, which is okay because I love the Tim Burton movies. Those are probably my favorites. But everybody was kind of speaking to how this is a little bit more serious. You don't really get that kind of tone in this TV show. And it's kind of like a fresh way to kind of see this Batman world versus where everything is a little bit more like serious, but you know that it's a little more, I'm trying to find the word. There's a word for this genre. But yeah, that's another thing that a lot of people are commenting on, that it's kind of nice to see that it's a little more grounded.
Yeah.
And these characters are more believable in this world that they're in.
I mean,
So
this
that was
feels
cool.
like a gangster show. That's what this feels like. It
Yeah.
feels like a gangster show.
Yeah.
And Jared said last night that when you see Penguin and he takes the shoe off and his toes are, deformed, that's reality, versus, having like the penguin hand you know,
Mhm.
all of
Yeah,
that
yeah.
length, and they did well with that. They made it really realistic. We even
He
talked
didn't have to sit and eat he didn't have to eat a bunch of fish, did he? No.
did not have to
No.
eat up.
No. Yeah.
But we talked about, like, could they bring Mr. Freeze into this type of movie? And Derek, tell him your great idea if they did do a Mr. Freeze.
Oh, okay. All right. So a lot of people wonder how you do Mr. Freeze. My idea was to actually have him run an operation, but it's completely out of a butcher refrigerator, like it's a freezer type thing. And every time you see him, he's got this big, like, machete type knife, and he's just sitting there chopping cattle, you know, on the table. And he's wider than me. His eyes are like kind of like really light blue, like chemically blue, like not good. And that's how he becomes that's how you would do it in my messed up world. So thank you for listening.
No, it's
Well,
no,
I
you
think
got
that's
an
good.
excellent point.
I think I like what they're doing, like how Josh said that we see the penguin, that he actually has a deformity, and that's why they call him the penguin. It's not necessarily because he's a penguin. And that would be perfect for Mr. Freeze too, like Derek was saying. I like how they would take these elements of the already established characters, but kind of bring them into this more grounded, realistic kind of world where you're like, okay, I can see where they're getting all of their nicknames from, but it's not necessarily this like out of this world, like really weird reason why they have these nicknames. So I'd be down for that. That'd be cool.
I learned the other day. Arnold Schwarzenegger still owns the Mr. Freeze costume.
Really?
He pays $1 per year to keep the costume.
He pays what? $1?
$1 every year to keep the costume.
Wow.
$1.
Oh, wow.
$1?
It's about how much that movie is worth.
Oh,
So
it's so bad. Oh,
The dinosaurs, the Ice Age. Oh god.
And then,
cringe from that one.
Oh god.
And then, since we're on the subject of the Penguin and Batman, you're probably super excited to know, Josh, that Batman actually got a star on the Walk of Fame.
Yep,
He's actually the first superhero to get a star on the Walk of Fame.
Well deserved.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool.
That's
That is
awesome.
So,
That is awesome.
Josh, since you're like a really big fan, this costume that they have him wearing.
I've always told Bob that I've always liked the gray and black. I've always been a fan of the gray and black batsuit more than, you know, the Tim Burton all black. Actually, we've got the gamers. I know Smu, the Arkham video games. I love that batsuit. I think that's one of my
That's a great suit. Yeah.
favorite batsuits. The way they did it. But yeah, good for them to honor Batman. I mean, just an amazing character. Bob loves Superman. That's his number one. Batman's my number one. We always joke around because I say we need to do a Batman origin movie again with Jensen Ackles. And Bobby yells at me and says he's too old. And I said, no, he's not. He still looks good. And I think
Josh,
Batman.
too
Here we
old
go.
for an origin story.
Here we go.
For established Batman, like the way James Gunn is supposedly wanting to do it with him having a Robin, I think Jensen Ackles would be great for that because it's an established
Jensen
Batman.
Ackles is great. Yeah, he should play Robin. He should play Robin.
No, Batman. He should play Batman.
Yeah, I think he would be great as Batman, but an established Batman. So
yeah,
like I wouldn't want to see
that.
another origin story.
Or maybe Jason Todd. He could play Jason Todd as well.
I think he did, didn't he? In one of the
yeah, he did. He did. That's why you could still play him.
Yeah, I think everybody's kind of tired of the origin stories. I would like to see all of these superheroes in their prime, already established.
Yes.
I
I'm
agree.
sick of them taking it back, and they're like, guys, let me tell you the story for the 100th time. And then we never get to the point where we actually see these characters in their prime and everybody's established. And like what happened with the DC, that they gave us, in my opinion, the perfect Superman, the perfect Wonder Woman. They gave us a cast of really great people, and where did it go? Nowhere. It went nowhere. We never got to see more movies where everybody was teamed up, where everybody was like in their prime, getting things done. We never got to see that. And now James Gunn took it all again, and now he's restarting it again. Like, I'm sick of it. I just want to see them at their prime, doing their thing. And then the worst part about it too is that they bring in the same villains over and over and over and over again. I think that's why I liked that they did a TV show centered around the Penguin, because that's something that we never ever get to see.
Yep. They should have also made World's Finest. Like give us a Batman and a Superman in their prime.
Yeah.
And have them fight crime together. They should have done that for years ago. But no, instead we have origin story again. It's the same freaking thing. And Batman has such a vast rogues gallery that you could have made like Swamp Thing a thing, or I don't know, give us a good Poison Ivy. Like it's not that it's not that freaking hard, especially with special effects that we have these days, or even practical effects.
Or Man-Bat.
It's not that freaking. Yeah, Man-Bat even. Yeah,
any of those guys could be interesting. I don't know. I mean, I agree. The way and it's funny because when I joked with Bobby about Jensen Ackles and he says, "Oh, I want to see a Batman in a prime," he said one of the best scenes that they could do at the beginning of the movie. You know, you could show how he became Batman, but you could have like Victor Zsasz holding a family hostage, and he's about to kill him. The next thing you know, Batman comes through the window and grabs him and launches him out, the window. So, I mean, there's many things you could do. There's many.
Did any of y'all see the short film that Bat and the Sun did? Batman Dying is Easy.
Yeah,
I have not. But
all right, so it's an independent studio. Yeah, it's an independent studio that does short films and superpower beatdowns and stuff. But anyway, they did a Batman short film, and the opening sequence of the film showcases the Mad Hatter as the villain. And it was done in such a way to where I'm like, why can't we see some of these other villains in Batman films? If they can do this in this short film and it's very believable the way that they did it in live action, how can we not see it in some of the others? Because like you said, he's got such a vast rogues gallery. There's so many characters that we could use.
Yep.
There is. The ventriloquist. That could be kind of interesting. More as a minor character.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I think that's the reason why they killed a lot of these characters for us too. Like Harley Quinn, we see her in everything, and now she's not even Harley Quinn anymore. So that's annoying.
Like how many versions of the Joker did we get in the last 12 years?
I know.
Yeah, we always get the Joker. We always get Harley Quinn, and I don't think we've ever even gotten a Harley and Joker that have been okay.
No.
Yeah,
yes, I actually agree. Yes, I do agree with this.
Or even Lobo, right? You could have cast Jason Momoa as Lobo.
Yeah, well, I thought they might in Superman. They're not going to?
I don't know.
I think that was the last word. Uh-oh, we lost Lily.
Oh no, Frozen Lily.
No. Lily.
Yeah, she's gone.
She's upset at the Lobo remark.
That's a funny freeze frame.
That is.
Oh no.
Right, Nomi has to take over now. Nomi's got to say what she wants about Lobo. What do you think about Lobo?
Well, last that I heard, wasn't it rumored that Jason Momoa was going to be Lobo?
That's
no,
right.
that's a good Lobo.
That is a very good Lobo.
That's a good Lobo. Yeah, I think Momoa is over DC stuff though at the moment, from what I heard. So I don't know.
Well, I would be too after what they did with
Aquaman. Yeah, don't
like Aquaman. I'm still upset he played Aquaman.
He looks like Tarzan. He doesn't look like Aquaman. Come on now.
No,
it's not even close. Not even close.
No.
I mean, it's the same with Green Lantern. We'll never get good Green Lantern, do we?
Well, didn't that come out recently about Green Lantern? They announced the actor for that. I know. I saw that.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Hold on. I know who has said that. The most negative person on the internet said something positive about it.
Bobby Smith?
Oh, no, I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was Ryan Kittle. Yeah, it was Kittle. That's who it was. Yes. I can't remember
Chandler.
who the.
Okay.
Yes,
Kyle Chandler. That was for a HBO TV show, even.
I'm
interesting.
getting the link right now.
I actually posted another link in the private chat while we were talking about Batman as well.
There it is.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I could see him play Green Lantern.
Who's the actor?
Kyle Chandler.
The guy from Friday Night Lights.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the guy. Yeah, he could work. I could see him play that.
Could.
Oh, new Arkham game allegedly. No, I just saw your post, Shmoo.
Mm-hmm.
And I have that up right here as well. So
Yep.
That's the suit. That's the suit right there.
Yep, that's the suit you want. That's the suit you want. So Rocksteady is rumored to be back with another Arkham game after they made the miserable flop of Suicide Squad that cost Warner Bros. A lot of money. Yeah, good luck with that because you burned a lot of goodwill, Rocksteady. You burned a lot of goodwill. So I don't even know what they're going to do with this one because, I mean, they kind of hinted that there would be more to come after the Arkham City game, but it was like left open very ambiguously. So I'm curious how they're going to pull that one off and who they take as villains. Because they didn't. I was a bit disappointed with Arkham City, especially after the bug-ridden mess it was at launch. But the trilogy is still good. It's better than half the stuff that was released just this year. You know,
the Joker's dead.
Well, yeah, spoiler, but yeah, he's dead. But I'm curious how they're going to pull that one off. So, if we look at this, because you have a $2 million loss with this game, and the rumor came on X that it will be revealed at the Game Awards, and I don't know if people will be willing to check it out, especially after Suicide Squad being the way it was. I mean, granted, people say that Rocksteady was kind of forced to do the live service game by Warner Brothers, but then again, why do we get like Injustice games that are way better than what we got with Suicide Squad? That's a fighting game series. So I'm curious to see that because I guess we have to wait until December to find out if it's actually true or not. Because Game Awards is usually around December 10th, 11th, something like that. But yeah, we just gotta wait and see. And people have been saying they should have done that for years. And Rocksteady is actually looking to hire people like UI artists, script writers, RPG designers, even or programmers, character artists, and everything like that. I just hope that Rocksteady can go back to the glory days that they had. But granted, the majority of those people have left the company. It's quite evident because why would you kill off Arkham Batman in the Suicide Squad game and then go back and say like, well, actually, it was just clones or or something like that. I'm like, well, that's the dumbest excuse you can bring after killing off the most beloved video game adaptation from Batman. Like, you can't just go around and say like, well, it was just a alternate reality. You know, you can't just do that.
Yeah.
And honestly, I am being very weary of Rocksteady after that Suicide Squad game because I don't have any faith that they will do it justice anymore. Unless Warner Brothers put their foot down and say like, look, go back to the drawing board, make it just as good as the Arkham games before that. We'll give you money for it, but don't mess this up. So I hope it's good. Honestly, I hope it will be good because we saw a recent surge in sales for the old Arkham games because of Suicide Squad being as terrible as it is. But we'll see. But then again, why can't we get another DC superhero like Superman maybe and have him have a game from Rocksteady? That would have been the ideal dream scenario back in the day, but we don't get that, sadly.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. That's very true. I like you, Shmoo. You're cool, and I love the name. It actually reminds me of me calling Derek Shmoo. No idea.
It's a childhood nickname, so it's because some people couldn't pronounce my name properly, so I just said, "Well, just call me Shmoo. It's easier."
Yeah. Can we go back to the story of the Batman star on the Walk of Fame?
Yes.
I'm very happy that Batman got a star on the Walk of Fame. Well deserved.
Yeah.
That's kind of my question. That's kind of my question to everybody here. So now that Batman, a fictional character, superhero, got a star on the Walk of Fame, do you guys think that we should get more of this? Do you think like celebrities are feeling like, Well, now Batman, and like, are they gonna fill the Walk of Fame with just a bunch of fictional characters now and no celebrities? Or
are we gonna get an OSHA star?
Imagine. Oh my gosh, can you imagine if they're getting an acolyte character?
Luke Skywalker should get a star,
right?
or Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Like, do you guys think that they should keep it to the more iconic? Like, they have to be legendary, iconic characters that they have to put on the star.
I think if you do a made up one every so often, you don't do it too often. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
You know,
Like every 5 years or so, maybe. Like
yeah,
one
exactly.
star or something.
I think every 5 years is cool. I think that's fine.
You can do
So who's gonna be
RDJ's
next?
Iron Man.
You can you have to look at the scope of things, especially with storytelling and superheroes and fictional characters. We have a wide human history of fictional characters. We probably want to be judicious in which ones actually have made a huge impact in the fabric of culture. And somebody like a Batman especially has done that. It's something like a Superman should be one. I would think, yeah, Superman should be deserving of this because as I went to go see the Christopher Reeve story documentary in theater, and really Superman the movie brought comics to movies.
Yes.
So I think in a way, certain characters, especially that makes the fabric of our culture, it's part of culture. It's also part of our blood at this point. It is literally generational. So if there has to be a character or a fictional character that made such a huge impact, that has a domino effect hitting generations, and characters like Batman, characters like Superman should be deserving on the have a star. And the thing is, though, you can't do it every year, and you can't do it every couple of years. You have to be very, again, judicious and make sure you're having an actual, reasonable and informed decision on who is going to be the best one up there. And it's going to be that would be really tough. That would be a really interesting debate. Actually, it'd be really fun debates going back and forth between fans and such like that. So I think that would bring some, positive discussions at least.
I mean, just think about Superman's catchphrase that he used to have for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
Truth, justice, and the American way. He's the embodiment of an American comic book hero.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Some people would even argue he's the perfect migration story as well, because he came from another planet to live in America and actually worked his way through and became an American, and even though he was an alien, right? And
yeah,
I just hate the fact that they try to bastardize that quote these days and change it a little bit because of thinking it's in racist rhetoric and all that stuff. Because of course it is. So yeah, it's kind of sad because I actually like the quote. I think they changed it a little bit. Let me see if I can find it.
Isn't it like truth, justice, and a better tomorrow or something like that?
Yes. Yeah. That's it. A better tomorrow.
That's garbage.
Yeah, that's really stupid. They need to bring it back. Stick with the OG.
I mean, just the old catchphrase alone should be the name of a metal album. Like Truth, Justice, and the American Way. Make a hard metal album, and it just sounds badass compared to like a better tomorrow. Like that's the slogan you would hear insurance companies say, or like maybe the FBI if they were actually competent enough to do their damn job. I'm sorry, I say it. Yeah,
that's funny.
It's good.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm happy that Batman got his star on the Walk of Fame. I kind of threw this in here last minute, which worked out because I didn't know that this was Josh's favorite superhero. But I wanted to throw something kind of positive here at the end, since all of the other stuff we're just tearing everything apart. So I just felt like this is something positive for us to kind of end on.
I'm kind of glad to see it because maybe this encourages people to actually check out the comic books a little bit more and maybe go back onto the old catalog a little bit more because that design is the best Batman design out there, in my opinion. And maybe, just maybe, we can have more of these iconic characters throughout the next couple of 10, 20, 30, 50 years, but have it be like very impactful characters or like inspiring characters, not just some random character that has been thrown into the ring like in the last 5 years, like I don't know, Miss Marvel or something like that. You know, yeah, I agree, Nomi. I wish Adam West would be alive to see that too. I agree with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Poor Adam West.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been cool because he's the one who actually gave that character life. So I know he became like such a beloved character, and then Adam West continued to do other things past Batman.
Yep.
So yeah, but
he became the mayor of Quahog in Family Guy.
Yes, he did.
Yes,
That's
he
right.
did.
Mayor West.
Mayor West.
Best mayor out there, by the way.
He was a voice in one of the animated series episodes too of Batman.
Grey Ghost.
Yeah.
Grey Ghost episode.
The Grey Ghost.
That's a great episode. Yeah, Bob reminded me of that. That's fantastic.
It's a great. Love that series.
No, it was a good series. Yeah, and I remember that episode too. Yep. But before we mosey off into ending our stream, guys, do you mind sharing what exactly that you do on your podcast? Like I said, I've seen a few of your episodes, and yeah, I would love to hear more about it on our show here. What you guys really strive for, and why you guys have the channel and do what you're doing as a group.
Nomi, they gang up on me. They bully me. Whoever. I need to get on this one instead. I think I'm going to transfer over.
Is that why you're moving?
Huh?
Is that why you're moving?
Exactly. I can't.
Lily could vouch for that. Yeah, we gang up on it, but no. The whole point of the podcast itself was. It's this idea of dad's turn to talk. We've been dealing with whether it be significant others, kids, work, whatever it is all day long. And now this is our opportunity to get together as a group of guys to be able to just talk about the things that we want to talk about. So it's a wide variety of topics. The three of us are big football fans. So we've been talking football. We actually have a fantasy football contest going on between the three of us all season long. And we recap that each week, but we're also big Marvel fans, Star Wars fans. So we like talking about pop culture. We've had Lily on talking about The Acolyte and House of the Dragon. Sometimes we have some fun segments in there. We actually did a segment called Would You Rather, where we would just kind of have these weird scenarios, and that was a lot of fun. But it's kind of a hodgepodge of things. But the idea is that it's just really, when it comes down to it, it's three friends getting together and just talking about the things that we want to talk about and having that time together that we don't get to during the week.
Yeah, that's what our friends should do more often these days.
Yes, and we're all in different locations, and we've become even closer than even though we've already been very close. And it's just a great opportunity just to get things off our chest and to speak about things, and then to have Lily come on is like awesome because she gives us that different type of
classes it up.
Yeah, she definitely. And we would love for all of you guys to come on next time.
Feel free.
Join us to talk and see what we do, and very similar to this, minus the guys ganging up on me and up on them. I'm the only one with a good head of hair, so that's a positive.
Yeah, that's true.
You can lord that over them, Josh.
Speak for yourself.
I know, right? We have fun. We laugh. We have a good time, and we tend to be ourselves. And I think Lily enjoys that when she's on. She's like, "Oh my God, you guys just!" Everyone tells us the chemistry. We have the chemistry and the dynamic. So.
Can I just say it's very important for men, especially, to have healthy relationships with other men, like having friends and have banter with them. It is very, very important. I can't stress this enough, guys. Like it is so refreshing. Just shooting the shit with other dudes and just like talk a lot of smack to each other, because that's just what we do.
Yeah.
It's great to see that again.
Yeah,
it's great. I love that. I love that so much.
Now, what would you give as advice? Because y'all are dads. You obviously live to serve your family, be the greatest dads that you can be. With today's current I guess you can say, climate of entertainment, that there's just a lot of hypersexualization, especially with like the new show that came out with Disney Plus, Agatha All Along, and they just showed a behind Catherine Kahn, or I don't know if I'm saying that name right, but yeah, and they're just trying to make that teenager, like, I don't know what the intention was for that teenager to be liking her body. Like, what would you suggest for that to protect kids, or advice to give to dads to make sure your family's protected, that they're not watching garbage like this?
Go for
That's
it, Derek.
a very good question.
That's really good.
So part of this, when you mentioned the hypersexualization, I mean, part of that also for a dad, I would think, because I am in a different category. I have 2 boys. Josh has a baby girl. So the conversation is going to kind of differ for the both of us.
Mm-hmm.
But for just the similar message, I think I speak on behalf of both Bob and Josh. We recognize good writing when we see it. Teach them that young. Know what a good show is. And you can go back to the shows that you watch too. It's not like they're not out there somewhere now. Dear Lord. So watch the stuff that you watched and you got into, and show them why you loved it. And when you talk through it with them, like I'm actually going through this with my son now about Spider-Man. But when you talk through it with them, you're able to kind of tell what a good story is, why it's fun, why it's important. And the older they get, I think you just have to remember that, you raised your kids right. And remind them, what the good lessons in life are. Yep. And whatever TV shows you. But if you come from a household of love, generally they're going to be okay. You just keep reminding them of it. That's all I got. I wish I had more.
Be a good role model. And I just make sure my daughter doesn't watch The Acolyte. I don't, I'm trying to get her into Star Wars. I'll read her some of the books we have. But she can't get her into really watching the original trilogy yet. So
yeah,
you got to work on that.
That's right.
Yeah, gosh.
So, Bob, what do you think?
Well, my kids are all older. My oldest is 24, and my youngest just turned 15 today. So mine are all older. But I realized that I had done something right as a father when I asked it was my 15-year-old. I asked him if he had watched The Acolyte, and he's like, "I'm not watching that crap." So I realized that I had done something well.
Good.
But no, I agree a lot with Derek. You got to talk to your kids. You got to be mindful of what's out there. I was real careful with what I would allow them to see up to certain ages. And I was like, okay, well, I think this is appropriate. And a lot of times it was me watching it first just to make sure it would be appropriate before I would show it to them, because there's sometimes things that they want to see, their friends see, and you just know it's not appropriate once you've taken a look at it. So you have to be willing to, kind of gauge what's out there yourself.
Nothing wrong with that, honestly.
And watch with your kids. Spend time with them.
Yeah.
Watch together.
Very family oriented.
Yeah.
And I think we all are. A lot of us. That's why we're doing it.
So either of you guys, maybe Josh, you're a fan of Bluey then?
Oh, big time.
Okay.
Oh, big time. Bluey and Banjo. And my daughter loves it. It's funny. We watch a ton of stuff together. It's just brought me back to childhood. And I love Toy Story and Toy Story 2 and the original Aladdin. And I'm like, I want to watch it. I want to watch that stuff. And she'll be like, no, I want to watch. She's she's going to be 8 in November 3rd. And she loves Fuller House and Full House, which is crazy. I grew up, on Full House. And it's funny. The other day I asked my wife, I said, do you think we could show her Beetlejuice? And she's like, no. But it's so funny because Bobby and Derek know my mother. My mother just turned 87 years old. And I remember times were so different. When we were young, we're older. My mom took me at age 11 to see RoboCop 2 in the theater.
Oh,
damn!
Wow!
Damn!
Yeah.
Good times.
Movie.
I'll take you to see that, or sit in the station wagon. We had a giant station wagon. We didn't put seatbelts on. We sat on the little hump that they had.
We were jumping on the seat while they were driving.
I know times were very different. So But yeah, there are shows that we'd love to watch together. Very family oriented, and yeah, it's great. I love being a dad. It took us about 4 years to have her through in vitro fertilization, and we were very lucky. And my wife is older, and she just had a blissful pregnancy, and we pretty much were one and done. And it's been great. It's gone by way too fast, though. This move has almost killed me. We're getting rid of stuff that I didn't want to get rid of, and my daughter's like, "No, I don't need this anymore." My wife's like, "Get rid of it." I'm like, "No, please."
Oh,
Josh actually kept it. He's not telling you. He's got it in his
Yeah.
closet right now.
I've kept some stuff. I'm not.
How important do you guys think it is for kids to have an actual role model in life, like both male and female?
Incredibly
Like-
important.
Very important. Very important. Especially these days. You guys probably see this too, but when kids are out, you ever notice with their restaurants how many of them have their tablets?
Yeah.
yes.
No, knock that off. No, you're not doing that here.
Yeah.
My oldest tried that at the breakfast table to bring his tablet when he was eating Cheerios, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Get rid of this." No, and then I sat down and we had breakfast together. But he thought I was the jerk, obviously, and didn't want to have breakfast with me that one time. But we got through it, and here we are today.
Yeah, it's very important. Do you feel like modern media doesn't give children good role models nowadays?
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all. So, one of the shows that I liked growing up, I loved The Simpsons, and Homer was hilarious. But I cannot deny the fact that they always make the dad look stupid in almost every single piece of media that there is. And I mean, after a while, it gets a little old. Now, don't get me wrong, Homer's hilarious. I'm not gonna lie, but there comes a point where it's just way too much. And I think that does carry over into real life, where you see a lot of kids disrespect their parents because they see that particular parent as an idiot because that's what they're exposed to.
Well,
it's also like the values that have been taught, right? Like telling children to my bad. They're telling children to question their parents a lot more these days. I think that's not exactly. You're allowed to question your parents, obviously, but it shouldn't go to a point where you call your dad a moron just because he has a different opinion from you.
No.
Or like saying your dad is a drunk ass and a deadbeat piece of crap. Just because he may be drinking a little more, or maybe he's working very hard, but he doesn't have enough time for you because he has to provide for the family. It's kind of sad because I heard this rumor, especially piggybacking off the Homer Simpson remark you just made, that Homer was adjusted to the audience that was watching the show at the time. Because the dumber the audience got, the dumber Homer got. That was a rumor at the time, at least. But it does make sense. If you look at the intelligence level of Homer throughout the years, he got dumber and dumber. And it's not just the crayon that he stuck into his brain.
Yes.
I miss old school Simpsons, Yeah. It is yeah.
Dang. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us, guys. It's been a real slice, and I really enjoyed our show today. You guys brought in the humor, like the good takes. Oh my gosh, like you guys are welcome to come back here again. We really enjoyed you guys being on the show.
Offers to you guys too.
Yes, you guys got to come on the show next.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
No, thanks for having us. We had a blast.
We had a blast. It was awesome.
Oh, of course. But before we sign off, is there anything that is coming up on your channels or anything? I know you guys, I saw one of you guys have a socials. What should we expect in the next few days or the next week?
Well, for me, I try to get out at least 1 or 2 videos a week on my channel. Try to at least get a movie review or something out, but I don't think this weekend it's going to happen because we got to celebrate my son's birthday tomorrow and whatnot. So I don't think it's going to happen this week. But I do try to get 1 or 2 videos out a week. And then of course we got the show that we do together and we get that out. It's usually, we film on Wednesday. So we usually have it posted by Thursday mornings. So we'll have another episode out next week of Dad's Turn to Talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're doing one quick segment now where we're watching movies that we kind of grew up with that we felt that were underrated. And so Bobby picked Mask of Zorro. Derek,
Oh,
I had never seen until 2 days ago and loved it. And then it was my turn, and I just picked Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yeah.
Good choices.
love it.
Excellent.
So yeah,
Yeah, so
fun.
it's been fun to kind of go back and look at some of these old films and see, do they still hold up today? And what do we think of them now, seeing it years later, as opposed to when we first saw it then?
Yeah. Okay.
Like
nice.
a retrospective, right? The retrospective stuff is pretty good
It's awesome.
to do every once in a while. Yeah,
Ooh,
Anonymous.
we'll keep an eye out for that one,
Uh,
for sure. But well, thank you guys again for hanging out with us tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and tag Lily. Is there anything coming up on your end?
Basically just kind of keep an eye on my Twitter. I'll usually update with whatever I have going on that week. And so yeah, make sure that you guys are tuning in every Thursday. We're here 8 Eastern time. And then also Mondays now, Max knows that. I will be seeing you guys on Toxic Femininity on Midnight's Edge with Max.
Yeah. Yes.
So I actually did get invited to be one of their permanent guests on there. So make sure that you guys are tuning in on Mondays now and see us over there as well. But
And
yeah,
she-
just keep an eye on the Twitter.
and Lily did it all on her own. I didn't even have anything involved with that. So happy
Well,
to-
Lily's famous now, if you don't know.
Yes.
Yep.
Nice. And then the return of Mags. Where should we find you?
Basically everywhere. Basically just keep up with my socials too. I usually do sporadic announcements of when I game stream and everything else in between. I'm still working on a schedule, but I am in the process of working on other things in the background as well. So it's just been a work in progress. I'm thankful to Tom B for helping me fix my OBS audio issues. So that was a headache.
He's
have
a
to get
scholar and
through.
a gent, that man.
Yes,
scholar
yes,
and a
and
gent.
that man he stayed up late
Very
and
patient.
oh
Hi.
hi.
Charlie.
How are you?
Hi.
And all the girlies. Different podcasts tonight, right? Yeah.
Who do you like? Do you like Bluey or Bingo?
I think I like
Bingo? Okay. Yeah, she's my favorite too.
I swear those guys.
Derek and
Buddy, of course.
Nice to meet you, young lady.
She's usually asleep when we're doing the podcast, so this is it.
Oh.
Oh,
It's a special
Nice.
occasion then.
ooh, a special guest on the show. We love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Max, didn't mean to cut you
No,
off,
you're-
but what's going on?
You're good. You're good. But yes, you can find me usually on the socials and all that jazz. And yeah, you can find me on with Lily on Mondays on Midnight's Edge at 8 p.m. Eastern. Toxic Femininity.
Right on.
Where another women panel, and we talk
Shout out
about
to Nina
all things pop culture. So and plus Tom, I have to shout out to
and
Tom.
Tom. Yeah.
Yay,
Yeah.
Tom.
Shout out to Tom as well.
First time.
But yes, and of course Thursday's here, so I am back and ready to rock and roll. So we're good.
Good
Happy
to have
be
you back.
and I'm glad to have met you guys, Bob, Josh, and Derek. So
You're
I'm
awesome.
glad to have met you as well.
Josh and I are gonna be best friends. Talking
You're
about
our besties now. I'll come on your show if you want Monday night.
okay.
Talk about that.
Good idea.
But I get good insight, especially without Derek and Bobby, since they attack me every Wednesday.
Tell us how
Just
you
gonna
really
have
feel.
an ally.
It's very sad.
Let's do that.
Guys. Bullying is very real, you know.
So I'm very happy to have met you guys, and thank you to Lily for bringing you guys on. You guys have been a gem. So thank
Thanks,
you.
man.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you
awesome.
so much for being here.
No, a real hoot. Dr. Rachel, what do you got going on?
Not much. Same thing as everyone else. Just check out my socials to see what's going on and when. Next week I will be gone to going to a friend's wedding, which is going to be fun. But otherwise, check out my channel, Adeline Crafting, if you like prop making and art and painting and cosplay stuff. I make a lot of things over there. Working on a couple projects. one secret one that I got an idea for, Lord of the Rings themed. So be looking out for an announcement about that. I'm very excited about that one. But otherwise, you can find me just yapping on about just how god-awful Rings of Power is on Saturdays. I would do a stream called This is Mordor Country on Saturday nights over on a couple people are streaming it. So Adam the Renaissance Nerd streams it on his channel, as well as Jed Hollywood Scholar. So check out their channels as well. But for the next couple weeks, I'll be over there until that's finished, and I'm sure we'll have a lot to say. Usually one episode can last us like 2.5 hours. So it's a lot.
Right on.
Dang, that's a lot of show, but it's good content though. Smu, what's going on with you?
You can always find me here on Thursday with the lovely ladies and the lovely panelists. Other than that, you will probably see me in all sorts of chats, moderating stuff, or just hanging out chatting, or being on shows. Wednesdays is usually the Hump Day Chinwag with Tomby and the gang, and Sundays you see me on my channel playing Final Fantasy 14 with Mirden, sometimes Mags and sometimes Tomby, depending on who's available at the time. And some random streams here and there. I'm probably going to be streaming some more Stellar Blade on Saturday. Tomorrow I don't have anything planned apart from, moderating FNT and then maybe do some streaming afterwards. Just have to wait and see. My schedule is a bit more free this weekend because I have a long weekend ahead. I worked 11 days straight, so I think I earned it. But yeah, the Thursdays I'm usually here, and I'm very happy to have met you guys, and I hope we have some more chats in the future.
Yes,
we'd love to.
Awesome, Shrew. We'd love to.
Yes, thank you so much, you guys. This is so much fun. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
No, we can't say how much we like. If you hear us repeating it over and over again, we really like you guys. We love it.
We'll set up a time. Come on.
Yeah, for sure. As for me, you can catch me on Mondays with MoonSkull crew and Geeks and Gamers Tabletop doing Call of Cthulhu. And then Dames and Dorks here on Thursday. I also have a gaming channel on YouTube I just set up, and you'll be seeing more game content coming out of that. And if not, I'll be live on Kick playing some games that came my way that I will be doing solo games. If not, I'll be playing with Tabitha, yelling at her. But thank you again to our chat, our panelists. We had a blast today, and we look forward to hanging out with you guys again. But for tonight, we hope you all have a good night, and we'll catch you guys the next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.